I am a testimony. 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 Jehovah Nissi save my soul. I am a testimony. Jehovah Shammah bless my life. I am a testimony. I am a testimony. I am a testimony. I am a testimony. I am a when I was down, Jehovah lift me higher. I am a testimony. I am a testimony. I am when I was sad, Jehovah make me happy. I am a testimony. 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 Jehovah Nissi bless my life. I am a testimony. Jehovah Shammah save my soul. I am a heal my soul. He heal my soul. I am a testimony. Jehovah Shammah bless my life. I am a testimony. Oh, I'm a testimony. I am 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 a testimony. Test. Somebody shout hallelujah. Oh, I am a testimony. I am a testimony. Yes, I am a testimony. 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 Hallelujah, 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 yeah. I am a testimony. Monday, backing away, back on away, backing away, back on away, backing away, back on away. Joy pulling you, joy pulling you, let it pulling you, joy pulling you, joy pulling you, joy pulling you. See the one pulling you, joy pulling you, let it today find my way, joy pulling you, joy pulling my way, see the one pulling my way, pulling my way, joy pulling my way, joy pulling my way, see the one pulling my way, let it today find my way, let it today pull your head, pulling your joy, pull your head, see the one pulling your head, see the blessing of Sable, see the blessing of Sable, say to bless you, joy more than you, say the bless you, joy more than you.
All right, good afternoon, folks. Welcome to today's program. I'm Alfonso Zienso of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV, getting a beautiful contribution here from BB Wright right there in Des Moines, Iowa. We want to welcome all our viewers and listeners right here this afternoon. Stay tuned. We'll soon get this program going. Okay, there you have it, folks. We want to welcome you. Thank you very much. Testimony. I'm not sure about you, but I have so much of testimony to give from my end, and this is how we want to start the program here this evening. To all our beautiful people in Radio Land, wherever you are, our station manager Mike Down is following us. We want to welcome you. This is the forum, your informative news magazine right here from the New England Bureau of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. As usual, Friday is your own Alfonso Zienso. So as an angle sitting here this afternoon, and I will be very shortly, my guest, they will be joining me from inside the West African state of Liberia. the testimony is huge. All of us have a variety of testimonies, whether on the social side, on the political side. But this evening or this afternoon, time check is 11:52 Eastern Standard Time, and pretty close to 4 o'clock in Liberia. So I'm going to be having a discussion here this evening. There are some documents in my hand here that I've been going through. It's difficult. One there for the group calling itself collaborative framework. That's the 4 political parties. And I have the other ones in my other side of the hand here. It's a framework of another group of politicians on the Start Rainbow Coalition. At 11 or 10 political parties putting together. That's a huge testimony. What do these people have? I do not believe in politicians. I do not believe in them because they always flip-flop. And so when I have the opportunity to get them here, we ask all of the tough questions and have the real, genuine conversation. And so very shortly later, we'll be having them here. So let's just bear with us, and I soon I get a signal. They will be coming with us here. But in the meanwhile, let's just have some music, and we'll be right back. I'm Afonso Z and Sort of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. Stay tuned. I will be right back. There you have it. There you have it. This is the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. We want to welcome you wherever you are in Radio Land. Thank you so much for being part of this program. As usual, we're here to bring you news, information, and entertainment. It's all about Liberia. Nothing else about Liberia. And it's good that we have this discussion.
And it come to pass when the Lord God has not ordained you are only a man. You are not God. You can never determine my destiny. And when I say I believe to accomplish my purpose on earth, God has said, I believe it and no man can stop it. But I will live. I will live. I will not die. I will live. I will live. I will live. To accomplish my purpose on earth. I will live. I will live. I will live. To fulfill my destiny. I will live. I will live. I will live. No premature death. I will live.
Oh yes, we all will live and tell the story of Liberia. All of us have an amazing story what is going on in Liberia. But I'm very, very much unhappy in the manner in which our politicians, very dishonored group of people. And so when I have them here, there is no sympathy. There's nothing I'm going to bad them. As long as you agree to come here, get ready to ask to answer all of the tough questions. This is not a liberal progressive Samson Blokuto, so we're not going to give anybody free pass here. However, views expressed on this network does not in any way to represent the views of the management and staff of the Liberia Public Radio. We are not obligated, or I am not obligated to any politician, not even the president of the Republic of Liberia, but I will call him the courtesy if you were to come on this network. However, I will not relent to ask legitimate questions because I will see ourselves to represent the interest of the Liberian people, not the stakeholders, not opposition, not imposition, and not even opposition as they call themselves to be. But the political trends in Liberia, the conversations in Liberia is quite amazing to see what is unfolding on both sides, the government, the opposition, and those who even profess to be they are championing the cause of the people. And so it is quite interesting to see what is happening. So as you note, the maritime, the road to the 2023 is already on. Give me a break. Let me just try to get connected with my guest here. So it's on already. So we have to do everything possible to, and we would never be selective in this work here. It would never be selective. We'll try as much as possible to give everybody the fair share, whether you are from the government, whether you are from the opposition, and even if you are the advocate. Yeah, the advocate, we also need to hold them because most of them, their tone, their language does not sound patriotic. It does not sound that sort of Liberianization policy that I strongly believe. Okay, one of my guests is already here. Jeremiah Whapoe is already here. Joining me from the West African state of Liberia. It's Johnny. These are the guys that are seeking for the Oval Office in Liberia. And so when I have them here, quite a long while, almost 4 or 5 years ago, that I was able to talk to this brother. Yeah, and he here this afternoon. Dr. Jeremiah Zion Whapoe. Good evening from the West African state of Liberia. Is that the executive mansion behind you already?
This is a personal executive mansion, not a nation executive mansion.
Hold on 1 second. Okay. Oh, hold on 1 minute. Let's see here. Okay, all right.
Let me check.
Okay, are you there now?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, I was just asking, is that an executive mansion behind you?
No, there's a personal executive mansion, not a national executive mansion.
Oh, okay. I thought you were already in the White House of Liberia. Okay.
No, if I do that, you will see that they will charge me for tourism, and I don't want to be charged.
Okay. Good. Thank you again, for accepting our invitation to being here. This network is not strange to you. How many years now since you have not been on this network?
Since 2015.
2015. You get a good memory time already because this too much of this talking now getting some of them to go away. Okay. I am not perfect at introduction, so for the benefit of our listening audience, I want you to introduce yourself and we'll get this program rolling.
Okay, for the benefit of the audience, I'm Jeremiah Whapoe. People in the academia call me Dr. Whapoe because they were one of my strengths is. I'm a Liberian, and I served the Oval Office in 2017, and I continue to do so because I have a desire and I have a vision that nobody can deliver that vision to Liberia besides me. Maybe somebody might deliver it, but they might not deliver the way that I see it and how Liberian people benefit from it. So I'm still looking forward to that. And so far, if any question comes, I'll be able to propound on it regarding my personal life and what I feel. But so far, what I can tell you.
Okay, that's a good thing about you. Don't believe in this too much of long introductory, endless mind because
no, at all.
I'm going to speak to it. A couple of years ago, we were talking about this party called the Vision for Liberia Transformation Party, VOT. That's your party, correct?
That's correct. That's the Liberian People Party that I'm heading.
Is it still alive and well?
Sincerely, still alive, more stronger than you would ever imagine.
You have been very consistent of this sort of transformation that you want in your own political belief to come to Liberia. And this force, you have been talking about it for quite a year. Is it resonating inside Liberia or to people who are following you?
Well, sincerely, it has been resonating. And one good thing about our transformation is kind of holistic. We're talking about human capital transformation. We're talking about infrastructure transformation. We're talking about behavioral transformation. We're talking about transformation in governance body of the nation. So we are on the right track, and Liberian people are getting the message. And we look forward to taking the message beyond higher heights. I think Liberian people like it because one of the first and foremost things we believe that Liberian people should be transformed to is to transform from dependency to independence, because the true nature of independence is being able to do stuff yourself. For example, right now in Liberia, everything that we eat, we borrow from other countries, and our vision of establishing this political party, the focus on which our party stands is to make sure that Liberia feeds itself. It is because of our inability to feed this nation. That is what plunged us into the Civil War. So first and foremost thing we want to do is to divorce ourselves from depending on other people and to feed ourselves. As you know, he who controls your stomach controls your entire body.
Unfortunately, with due respect, millions of times I've heard this sort of rhythm from on the side of politicians who want to empower people, have come in, transform. So to be honest with you, when I look up and look down and look around my surrounding, I'm not seeing this sort of transformations. I've seen that I've been disappointed by politicians. I'm talking about Liberian politics.
Yeah, Mr. Sio, the idea is that people talk about transformation, but are they transformational agents? There's a difference to preach transformation and being a transformational agent. Because before you become a transformational agent, you got to start from yourselves. Okay, now what we're doing in Liberia, we preach transformation. We preach agriculture to be the bedrock, the foundation on which this nation should stand. We preached it during the election. Of course, our voice was not economically loud, so Liberian people can hear us. But what we're doing right now in Liberia is that.
What was responsible? You know this network, you know the traditional network, especially when you are having a conversation with me. So it's going to be a kind of reality. So why are
like I said, Liberian political system, the electoral system is polarized by the spending money. And people spend money, they buy vote. And we believe that buying vote, if you buy vote, that means you'll be commercializing the political system. And when you do that, that means you'll be making it a business so that when you get to public office tomorrow, the money that you are invested to pay people to elect you to that position of power, you'll be able to get that money back with dividend. And we don't believe in that. So therefore, we did not indulge ourselves into buying vote or moving people here and there to vote on our party ticket. So we believe in a pure democratic system where we communicate our message to the Liberian people. Our message resonated with them, but what did not resonate with them is our avoidance to buy vote like what everybody else does in the political system. Maybe that was one of the problems. And another problems the Liberian people talk about. They embrace the idea that we brought on the table of transformation. They embrace it, but their concern was that we were new to the political system. So therefore, they should know us better. And I think Liberian people have known us better and they're ready to make the right decision. Because right now in Liberia, we talked about agriculture and we are the biggest farmer. Our political institution is the biggest farmer organization in Liberia. We have 4 different farms in 4 different counties, planting different kind of crops that Liberian people are going to benefit from. And we promise the Liberian people by 2021, before December, you're going to see burger rice on the Liberian market will be on the rating on the produced in Liberia.
You have been in Liberia for quite a while. Let me just give that to you because a couple of years ago, 4 or 5 years, at the time you appear on this network and your quest to seek political office in Liberia. Since then, I believe you have been there, correct? Is that the case?
Sincerely, I've been in Liberia since the election. I have not gone back.
Have you learned a lesson for the past years in the political field of Liberia, how polarized it is? Have you learned a lesson?
Well, there are a lot of lessons learned, and it's on a daily basis. You cannot consume everything, but one peculiar thing that we have learned in the political system in Liberia is that Liberia political system does not identify with political parties. You might hear people say, these people did not get numbers during the past election. You do not have a bigger crowd during the past election. But one thing they forget to know is that the Liberia political system is not not glued to political party. It's glued to individual character. And people like us that we have tried our best over the years to have pristine character when it comes to dispensing a good leadership to the Liberian people. I think it is the best time that Liberian people will make a choice among the best.
And that's a very valid point, and that's some of the points some of us have been talking about, the failure to the part of our politicians, and not only politicians, but the entire community to build a strong and vibrant institution. That's a huge tag. That sort of syndrome. How is Whapoe going to kind of erase that sort of mindset in a country where poverty is one of the factors of people making informed decision for themselves. How do you change that narrative?
You see, what we thank you very much. What we're doing in Liberia right now, we want for Liberians to have that sense of independence. We empower Liberia, and it has to go to the grassroots. And one of the problems that we also have in Liberia is that there's a role reversal in the Liberian home, in the social system. There's a role reversal where people are supposed to undertake their responsibility. They're shifting the responsibility to the younger generation. So what it means is that you and myself, the responsibility we have in this generation, instead of shadowing that responsibility, we transpose it to the next generation. And once it happens like that, it will be difficult to solve our problems in Liberia. So we are teaching Liberians to see how they can solve their problem instead of transposing their generational problem to another generation. How do we do that? We do that by engaging the rural communities, the parents in the rural communities, so that first and foremost thing they can do is to feed themselves. If you cannot feed yourself in your home, if your home is not fed, your children will call somebody else's daddy. If you cannot feed yourself in your home, your wife might likely born a child that does not resemble you, that does not have your gene. If you cannot feed yourself, you as a father, your children might not even call you daddy because you are not shouldering your responsibility. So the first and foremost thing we can do is to make sure that every home in Liberia is fed by the head of the household. And we are empowering households across the nation so that they can feed themselves. And once they feed themselves, we strongly feel that somebody will not deliver a bag of rice to ask them to vote for them. So once you can feed yourself, we also feel that people will not come to say, look, we're going to give you t-shirt, we're going to give you food to vote for us. So that is the fundamental, the rudiment of our democracy, where we want to take Liberia in the next discourse of politics. The first and foremost thing we want to see is for Liberia to feed itself. It is our inability to feed ourselves brought civil war to Liberia. And if you ask me for that, I'm going to expand on that. How did that happen?
Absolutely. That's one of the reasons for which you are here. And I'm happy that you came forward for us to have this conversation.
Yeah. You see, today, if you remember, I know you were not too young at the time, 1979, we had a race riot in Liberia.
Right.
How can the whole nation go against the leadership of a nation just for a bag of rights? How can that happen? It's just ludicrous. So what happened is that when we went for race riot, a lot of people lose their life. And Trump, who was the president at the time, said that, look, since Liberians are crying for rice, what I'm going to do, I'm going to import rice into the country. The importation of rice into the country at the time was a cosmetic solution. It didn't last. And what happened when the rice finished on the market? The next thing you saw is that Liberian people jumped in the street, and you saw the April 12th coup d'etat, and we executed Tower. We did not just execute Tower, we executed Tower with his principal lieutenants. And my question is, I can ask anybody during the campaign, I ask people, I say, how many of you that when you are hungry, you can kill your father? How many of you that when you're hungry, you can kill your mother? Nobody answers yes. Because have we done that? All of us are in the world today, we might not have mother nor father because everybody has been hungry one time in their life. So what can we do? Why did we kill Toba? The reason that we killed Toba has not been established. And I volunteer on a daily basis to tell the Liberian people we apologize. I did not participate in the coup d'etat, but I sincerely feel that killing Toba was wrong.
So let me flip the coins around here. Do you know the reason why?
Say that again?
Do you have something on in your background there? I'm hearing some sort of interference. Do you have anything on?
I'm very sorry. Maybe it's from the nearby place. So let me see if I can. I will take care of that.
Yeah,
I've instructed people to take care of that already.
Yeah, I was asking the reason for which Toba was killed. Nobody have asked that reason. My guess, you know that reason, correct?
Well, you see, with me, I'm a person. I study statistics. Nothing happens for nothing. The killing of Toba actually evolved from 1979, a race riot, because Toba could not feed the nation. The population was growing, and we did not have the rifle mechanism in place to feed the nation. So therefore, we continue to import rice into the country. And when the importation of rice, there was a shortage on the importation of rice, people got angry and they went together. They have so many movements. And one of the movements happened to be the People Redemption Council that came to allegedly redeem the Liberian people. And they did. And they killed Toba. Killing Toba was not any form of redemption. I think you were enslaving Liberian people more. You were exposing Liberian people to danger, and that happened. And when that happened, those who were involved in the execution of Tower, none of them brought solution to the problem that we had. Doe and his lieutenant did not bring solution to the problem that we had. The shortage of food on the Liberian market, he has exacerbated today. Nobody solved that problem. Charles Taylor came to avenge for those who killed Tower, and Charles Taylor was not able to put a cup of rice on the Liberian people table that will come from Liberian people farm so they can feed themselves. Ellis Johnson Sally didn't do it. Judy Bryan was there. Judy Bryan didn't do it. Joshua is here. Joshua has not been able to do it because these guys are not transformational agents. Just to based on my argument, my syllogism that I gave you earlier, they are not transformational agents. So it takes a true transformational agent who is informed about transformation, how to make difference in people's lives to do this.
How can we establish the identity of this transformational agent in your own world? But to be honest with you, you guys, you the politicians, we have heard this story over and over and over and over. At the time I wasn't born, my mother wasn't born, and here we are talking about the same old story. So how does the ordinary Nigerian out there say, okay, this is the transformational agent guy that is coming? How do we authenticate that?
You know, when Jesus was born, nobody knew that he was a Messiah.
There you go.
And people doubted him, and people said a whole sort of things about him. But when they saw his true color, even when he was young, he went to the synagogue. They said he was underage to talk among people. And equally, he was so angry because people make business in his father's house. He threw those stuff out. So when the true Messiah comes, people really don't know him until when the Messiah is tested. Jesus was tested several times until they got to know that he was Messiah. When he raised Lazarus from the dead, they got to know that this is the Son of God. And this is what we're doing. In Liberia here, we might not say we are Messiah like Jesus Christ, but we are living by example. We are living exemplary life. We talk about agriculture to be the bedrock of the nation. We talk about the nation feeding itself. What are we doing? Are we involved in it so people can know that what we talk about, yet we didn't win the election? Are we doing it? Yes. This is what I told you earlier. Until somebody can come and dispute it and give you an example that they are doing better than we are the only larger farmer. And we told you also that besides our product being on the market now, like Liberian people are getting it cheaper than you will ever imagine, we are going to commercialize our business at an affordable rate to the Liberian people so they can know that Liberia can feed itself. Beyond that, we are not only doing it for commercial purposes, but we are doing it to be able to relieve the Liberian farmers from the trap of poverty. And I think that's a tremendous effort that is being made with our ascending to presidency. We are doing all of these things. I think Liberian people, they will employ that and will have a resounding result at the end of the day. And I can tell you this now, nothing can be done. Like you there, I strongly feel that before you even came to go on do your work now and come live today, you make sure that your children eat. You know, and we spend more money on food than our health. We spend more money on food than our education. We eat on a daily basis. We don't go to hospital on a daily basis. So therefore, we want to make sure our dreaming Liberia is to make sure that every child that is in Liberia that is going to bed with hunger on a daily basis, when we take over, no child should go to bed with hunger anymore. And we'll make sure we do that.
Okay, one thing here, let me just give it. I don't usually give people credit, but 4, 5, 6 years ago, we have been talking this year, and one of the sticky points that you have been very consistent is agriculture. Because if you look at the history of the great Soviet Union, the collapse of the Soviet Union today, it could not feed itself. So anybody who is talking about sustaining a country, not just quote unquote the regions, then I kind of sympathize with you. But that does not, it's not going to give you a free pass here for us to talk to sort of hardcore issue here. Let me ask.
I don't want free pass. I want to be tested.
That's what I like to engage you, and only the brave can come forward here to sit on our wing here. Let's go here a little bit here. I have a document here that says declarations of intent to collaborate for the purpose of forming a political alliance. And here, there's a signature here that carries your party name, Vision for Liberia Transformation Party, VOP, correct?
That's correct.
Were you part of, I believe, I could be wrong, just getting to the point, I believe during this, just the same very year or last year, you were part of CPP or COP, one of them?
No, I am not part of CCP. Just to put on record, I am part of COP. COP, Council of Patriots.
You are with the Council of Patriots.
That's correct.
All right. So, and this is why I found it a little bit difficult to distinguish that. But okay, let's leave that. We're going to come to that. I want to see what your ideas. Now, there are 11 political parties coming together.
That's correct.
So, Mr. Dr. Whapoe, tell me here, how can I come to, I believe, of looking at the history of our political institution? Look at the history of our political institution to survive when they emerge. It has not been successful. How can these 11 group of people, all of you seeking for state power, how can you come together for me to believe at this time?
You know, if you actually let for your past to determine your future, you'll be a failure. We should not dwell into what has happened in the past. Let's look at the present and the player within the presence that we are talking about. You have a player like me. I'm not bragging, but I'm a leadership technician. I learned from one of the prestigious psychological institutions in the United States. I was trained to be a leader, and besides me, we have resounding people with sound mind, people with integrity. Our chairman, the chairman for the Potential Alliance, Mr. Reginald Goodridge, is a man of integrity. I name him man of honor. And you have this kind of character that we are aligning with to work together, and we are 99% sure and skeptically optimistic that we will reach to the finish line. Therefore, with unity there's strength, but we believe in diversity, and with diversity there's wisdom. This is why our institution, the newborn institution, has become one of the talking instruments of recent Liberian political history.
Tell me a little bit, and I hope because Mr. Goodridge, he's supposed to be here as well. I'm not saying yet. Hopefully, he will get this point. But let's dwell on your party, which is part of this alliance here. How you came to the conclusion of forming this alliance? What were some of the factors that you considering how volatile the volatilities of the political systems in the country? What is your ultimate goal?
Well, one of the things that we were thinking about to put this alliance together is that we have misunderstood democracy and multi-party systems in Liberia. And those of us who have the deeper understanding of democracy and multi-party system want to bring new idea to the front of politics in Liberia. When you talk about multi, anything that is more than one is multi. Multi does not necessarily mean proliferation. So therefore, with the splinter of political parties in Liberia, it makes it so divisive. Liberia right now is divided. Liberia is divided on tribal land. For example, Liberia has 16 tribes in Liberia. It has 16 languages that we speak in Liberia. And out of the 16 languages, we have 26 political parties. Now you tell me, don't you see every tribe having a political party?
Dr. Whapoe, you need to tell me. You are the one that's seeking this marathon to go on to whatever Capitol Hill to make some good political decision. So why?
Yeah, so what I'm doing now, what we're doing in our party is to unify the people. Instead of us being divided on the tribal line, politically being divided on the tribal line, we want to create a synergy coming together. And with the synergy coming together, you will see that we'll have wisdom in our diversity. With the wisdom in our diversity, we are able to come with one strong document. My ambition to become a president does not necessarily mean that I have to be president of Liberia. If the Liberian people choose me because of my idea,
do you realize,
I don't have to. I don't have to. Yes, I don't have to. But say that again.
Do you realize that you do not have to be a president, but you also have the right to be a president of the Republic?
That's correct. And my right has to be transposed to the leadership by the Liberian people. If the Liberian people so choose that Jeremiah Whapoe's idea to lead this country resonates with them, and they believe that they can take me to higher heights, even if they choose somebody other than me, once they believe that idea that the person is bringing on the table can be the best, and the person having to come from my institution and preaching the interests of the Liberian people, trust me, I will support that person. I am not greedy for power. Excuse me, I am not greedy for power. But what I am greedy, what I'm desperate to see is to see that every home is fair. What I'm so desperate to see is to make sure that no child goes to bed with hunger anymore. What I'm so desperate to see is those children who are dying on a daily basis with their potential, and they are not able to explore their potential. I want them to explore their potential. Those are the things I'm desperate for. I'm not desperate for presidency, but I'm desperate to see Liberia to be number one and second to no nation.
I'm trying to create an imaginary situation here in this studio here, having 11 persons. I'm not sure whether there's a female there sitting around the table and to concord, to come to an understanding. Okay, you going on top of the TK, I'm willing to go as number 2, and maybe I want to be a minister. Do you see that easily coming to a resolution when you guys sit at the table without that sort of struggle? Because it's all about in-state power.
What I don't want to say easy, but what I want to say is that we are deriving our institution, our documentation, we are deriving it with consensus, no matter how difficult will it be, so that people can say, look, why it shouldn't be me? At the end of the day, we made decision by consensus, and that is very important. And that's why you don't see most leaders do around the world. That's why you don't see most leaders do that. At the end of the day, when they make decision by the quote-unquote voting or democracy, people who feel disenchanted, they go and have negative view about it. In our institution, we try our best to make our decision by consensus, and with consensus, we believe that everybody will be on board, and everybody will take piece of the pie, and everybody will feel they are part of the institution. They are key player. No one is a key player. Everyone is a key player. So with that, we believe that we stand in a better position more than any other political institution in Liberia. So,
talk to me here, Dr. Whapoe. How long, I guess here, this has been happening behind the scene. How long it took these political institutions to come to a result? With this resolution, you guys have fixed your signature. It's good that we have it, because we're going to hold you guys with your words. I know politicians, they are not friendly. Charles Taylor said that in the All-Liberian Conference, that they're going to be acting among themselves, and I will be elected. And that came to pass. We are seeing coalitions upon coalition, and then at the end of the day, one wants to take the head of the elephant, and nobody is willing to take the tail. What were some of the factors you for your party? I don't want to, and we intend to give all of those other groups here the opportunity to come here as well. What were some of the critical things your party, because you are dragging your party into an unknown situation to make it known? What were some of the cardinal factors that you consider for which you joined the alliance?
One of the issues that we proffer during our discussion over the period of time that we put our document together, and that shows the intelligence of the institution. Over more than a year that we try to put these individual political parties together to make them one political party. None of our information leaked to the press, because I know that if you had known that certain things were going on, you would have explored to find out what's going on. But we make sure that as a mature institution, we kept our information to ourselves until we were ready for it to come forth to the Liberian people. And that one,
go ahead.
And that one credit that we have so far is that our ability to work in-house without causing noise, so that infiltrator can infiltrate into our ideas, we're able to handle that. And at this point, let to be clear, one of the things that we offer during our debate is that no matter what it should be, it is time for Liberia to exercise, to experience true leadership and true independence. Because you cannot talk about an independent nation that somebody has to tell you when to go to bed. You cannot talk about independent nation when somebody has to determine how many cups of rice that you should eat in your house on a daily basis. But then determining how many tons of rice you come to Liberia on a shade, they are equally determining how many cups of rice your family should eat. Right now, Liberia has a very small economy. And the economy we have made substantial research. And let me give you this data, and you go make research on it. Today, Liberia is spending $23.6 million United States dollars on the importation of pepper into Liberia. $23.6 million on the importation of pepper. Liberia is spending $480 million United States dollars on the importation of rice into the country. Now you tell me, we have not done research on onion. We have not done research on peanuts, but we made research on oranges. Liberia is spending over almost $18 million United States dollars for the importation of oranges into the country. Now you tell me, if our government is a serious government, responsible government, who wants to get its people from the trap of poverty, we talk about getting people from the trap of poverty, We're not talking about dividing money out there, using the Liberian people as very good chunk money out there so they can rush for it. Empower the people that they make their own money. Show them how to make money. Teach them how to fish, and they will fish for themselves versus you giving them fish. So therefore, with this huge money leaving our economy, $480 million for importation of rice, $23.6 million for the importation of pepper into the country, $18 million for the importation of oranges, which is a seasonal basis, into the country. Those are huge amounts that live in this small economy. So if we want to really take Liberia from the trap of poverty, the first thing we can do is those consumable goods that we use in the country, we should produce it. And after we start producing it to a mechanized level, we put moratorium on the importation of those goods into the country so that those farmers who are producing these things so their crops can be purchased on the market. You won't believe this. The imported rice is cheaper on the Liberian market than the local rice. If all the local rice is more expensive on the Liberian market, do you think that people will buy the expensive, right? I mean, the expensive rice versus the cheaper rice? No. So with the price tag on the Liberian rice, it makes it difficult for Liberian people to buy their locally produced food so that those farmers can get out of poverty. And these are things that we want to control when we take over the House of the Legislature and take over the presidency. These are things that will be pushing forward.
Wow, this sounds so nice and sweet. Kind of brought down my cholesterol, my blood pressure. But again, the work of politician, I never believe it until I see it coming to being more concrete, not abstract. So does that mean you guys going to be in candidates for this coming senatorial race? Is that discussion part of this declarations of intent you guys sign?
Essentially, we will produce, we'll put forth our candidates in the individual seats that have been provided from each of the political subdivision. We are standing by to do that, and we believe that Liberian people will come out to look for the best candidate, and they will choose the best candidate that's standing out for them. We're looking forward to that.
So how does that sort of alignment or sharing going to be among 11 political institutions? Have you guys arrived at that point?
Well, we have not arrived at that point, but ideologically and to put just for the purpose of jurisprudence, what I think should happen. I'm not speaking at this point. I'm not speaking on behalf of the alliance. I'm putting. I'm going
to hold your own party commitment to this.
Very good. Okay. Now, what we think should be done is that if party A, B, C has candidate, they bring the candidate and we'll showcase those candidates for the primary, and they will go to primary in each of the county that they are advising to take a leadership in, and the people that will decide, and they will choose whether it's a vote candidate or is a TWP candidate or VCP candidate. So that's what we'll be doing. But the idea that we will divide county by people, I don't think it's a good idea. I think what should be done is the people should choose who they want to vote for from our party versus, or say, okay, this is my party, that person go. Suppose I project a person to the Liberian people in that particular political subdivision, and that's not what the Liberian people want. What will happen is that at the end of the day, we'll be a loser. So if a vote for a candidate and the candidate does not win the primary from the delegates in any county, if another party wins it, let the party carry, and that person will be representing the alliance, not vote.
So, okay, as usual here, this is all about Liberia, and I know you are in it for the country called Liberia. So we're going to be taking questions as well from our Facebook feed. As a moderator or anchor here, I will determine the substance, because some people can ask questions, put the question info can be in the air, and then the other one be in the air. So we're going to determine the nature of that question here. So let me just start with this other sequential question here coming from Mr. Anthony Gay. Will you put a candidate in Moserado to raise Dr. Whapoe? Would there be a candidate for Moserado County?
Yeah, we'll put candidate in Moserado, and that candidate will be representing not vote. When we should have finished our framework document, that candidate will be representing the alliance. Yes, the answer is yes, we will do that.
Very good. So, is there any possibility or scenario that Dr. Whapoe himself, be a potential candidate, perhaps maybe from his native county, Nima?
Well, at this point in time, I'm not considering that maybe in the near future, when the Nimba people will say, look, Whapoe want you to do this, that will be something that we'll look into. But at this point in time, I'm not considering that.
All of you politicians are aiming for the higher up. That's not going to be the executive mansion, where more or less the president has dominant over resources. Why all of you guys are running out there?
Well, nobody goes to a march to say, look, I'm going to go play this game to take second place. Do you? So therefore, I don't think I'm getting into politics to say I'm going to take second place or third place. I want the first place.
What is it? Is there any other options besides that?
The option will be if I win the seat, great. If I don't win it, anybody else who wins it and wants me to serve them to deliver their agenda to the Liberian people, I'm looking forward to doing that. But I'm in the race to win the first place.
You are in this race here. And you know it better than I do. There are three branches of government, and I have consistently frowned on the attitudes of our lawmaker. And only to we hold into executive branch of government responsible to I see that to be unfair. I seen recently 30 men and women, both opposition, government, quote unquote, who are also calling for pay. We frown on what government is doing. Then some of these people, they decided to financially, heavily to reward themselves, and they were not thinking about the Liberian people. What is your own party thought on that? When you see that politicians, elected officials on Capitol Hill behaving, not putting forward a piece of legislation to alleviate, but instead they have all turned to humanitarian, to be divine bucket, rice, blanket, chloride. That's not what you were elected for. You know that, Dr. Whapoe. I know you were in the United States. I don't think you ever saw your congressman or senator dividing. What they do, they put programs to set an agenda to empower the people. But our Liberian politicians audacity to allow the citizens to be enslaved to them. And our people seems not to get it. And this is getting to some of us nerves.
Well, let me tell you something. We have, leadership has 21 laws of leadership. And politics have 48 laws. And in the 48th law of leadership, power, what it tells you is this: keep the people dependent on you so you can be more powerful. And that's a dangerous law of politics. And that is a law that Liberian people, politicians, have so gotten acclimated to. They seduce the people with the intent that they are helping them. Then at the end of the day, they get more power because the more they see these people standing in front of their doors on a daily basis, begging them for bag of rice, send my wife to the hospital, or give me money, let me circumcise my child. And those little things, it made them to aggrandize themselves and get themselves gravitated into power. And that is the ideology that we want to divorce in Liberian politics. This is why we feel that when you empower the people, I can tell you this: if a farmer can produce rice on his farm and at least every year and generate $10,000 US from his farm, that farmer able to go and send his wife to hospital. He or she doesn't have to go to the finance minister's house or any minister's house to go back. He or she can send their child to school. He or she doesn't have to go and beg somebody to send their child to school, so that person can be, they can depend on that person. Our ability to offer ideas that Liberians will be fully capacitated to sustain themselves, not only with food, but to sustain themselves with every social part of their life, will get true independence to Liberia, thereby making a sound political decision that will not support people who bring a bag of rice or t-shirt to them or a bucket to them for election. That's what we are on the right track to start from the rudimentary, the fulcrum of this argument, so that they can grow up and have themselves emancipated from the trap of poverty.
Okay, I know you're able to. We're going to make these answers most succinct so that we can get more questions, because these are the people you want to lead, not me. Because right. I still don't believe and trust in the politician. I hope to find one who will empower and not tend to save the children of UK or messing some from here by just giving things. I'm not a believer of that. So let me come to this expression so you respond to it. Tanunjala is in. Politicians will tell you what they like, what you like to hear, but do things different for themselves. This is a Liberian who is second of his politician. What do you have to say?
Mr. Seo, let me tell you something. why the reason we make mistake all of the time is that we look at people when they are looking for political powers before we make decisions, and that's wrong. Before you make your political decision, look at this individual that you're trying to support, their private life when they were not thinking about that position. Their private life. When they were not thinking about this position, there where you know the genuineness of that individual. For example, look at me. When I was 19 years old in Liberia here, what I did, look, at the time I was not thinking about presidency. I was not thinking about becoming a senator. My role play in Liberia was to advocate for the voiceless. I was the first human rights activist in Liberia who registered with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and the organization name was Liberians United for Democracy in Africa. We are on record for that. And this institution gave birth, who was one of the icons of human rights organizations in Liberia. So my role as an advocate is ingrained into me. It's in my DNA to advocate. And beyond that, all of my life, I've been advocating. So what made you think that overnight when I get to presidency, what I have done through all my life, that even when I was not thinking about presidency, I was doing it, what made you think overnight it will be erased? That's impossible. So what I'm saying in nutshell is that before you make decision to choose somebody who will represent you, study the person's past life. What did he do in the past? What did he do in the past repeatedly? Not just once, but what did he do in the past repeatedly? What is he doing in the present? Once you are able to collect data about this individual past life, private past life, and came to the present life, then you'll be able to project what will be done in the future. Thereby, you'll be able to know what the man leadership will look like versus somebody coming today with cash in their hand, say, oh, the man got money, man, you got your own money. Then you jump behind, you do not know the person's private life. You don't know why he believes, you don't know what the person believes. He's still singing to the song that you hear in the public, but his inner self is there.
Yeah, to sum it out here, in other words, you are telling me here that politics in Liberia more or less a popularity contest, and do not look at substance. Is that where you are going with it?
Well, I don't want to use your language, but what I know that Liberian people believe in, because of the poverty situation in Liberia, the politicians use the poverty situation in Liberia to get to ascend to power. And when they get to power, they continue to suppress the people so they can get power. And that's not what we believe in. This is why we are not in leadership, but yet we are empowering the people so they can be emancipated from the trap of poverty.
So you are putting yourself on record on LPR here today. You will not make yourself part of that DNA, quote unquote, the behaviors of our dishonest politicians who continue to squander state resources.
What I want to tell you is that I'm putting myself on record. Let me be clear on that. But what I want to also tell you is that transformation does not mean the sin of the more of the sin. No, that's not transformation. Transformation means change. And okay, now in Liberia, so you can see the change in my DNA in Liberia. How many politicians? I'm not talking about those who making their chicken farm, killing chicken to eat it for themselves on a daily basis. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about somebody that will go make a palm farm and they will generate the oil to ship it out of the country. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about somebody who's going to make their cocoa farm. At the end of the day, they will ship the cocoa to United States, to the candy company so they can make their money. I'm talking about. I am not talking about somebody who has their rubber farm so that when they generate it later, they will send it to Firestone so they can make their money out of it. I'm not talking about that.
Who are those? Are those characters in Liberia, Dr. Whapoe?
There are people in Liberia who believe, who are politicians. I don't know their names. I don't want to call them, but who believe in self-aggrandizement. How many politicians have you seen in Liberia that will involve themselves in activities that will empower Liberia so they can sustain themselves? For example, that we are making funds so people can have food on their table to care for the children. How many have you seen?
I had to do this here, but you know what National Public Radio does in the United States, and that's what we model here. This is a public radio. We are obligated to our listening audience. You are the politician. You know your colleague. I do not know them. I am not seeking public office. My job here is to take these listeners, some of these bad guys. Now you have the opportunity. You are not willing to disclose their name. That could be a potential alliance if you are even elected tomorrow to concede information to us.
It's not a matter of conceding information. It's a matter of being pragmatic. Liberian people will judge these people. Liberian people know these people. There's an open secret. Everybody knows who has a rubber farm and they generate the money. They don't empathize with the Liberian people, but everybody knows who has a cocoa farm and they sell.
Is that Benena Ure of the ALP, for example, we are talking about here?
Well, I am not here to call names. I don't know what Mr. Ure is involved in. I don't know. But what I know is that there are people in Liberia who claim to be politicians, and they seek their individual interest versus the utilitarian interest of the Liberian people. And we from the Alliance, and as one of the icons of Alliance, what we believe is to seek the utilitarian value, or the sheer value, or the sheer interest of the Liberian people so they can benefit from it. And whatsoever we will do, and I have been doing as a leader for the Vision for Liberian Transformation Party and a member of the Alliance, one of the ideas that will be putting forward is Liberians come first. What's in it for Liberia? If there's policy that nothing is in it for Liberia, or Liberia does not benefit from it at the maximum, then that policy cannot be implemented. And let me tell you this straight. No policy that is implemented in the country should have a cost. The cost of the policy should not be more than the benefit. When the cost is more than the benefit, we will not indulge ourselves into that.
The probability he could be one of the potential persons off record we are talking about, correct?
Well, I don't want to say that. I don't want to know. I don't want to say that because I don't know his personal life. But what I know, there are individuals in this country that have that characteristic.
Is that yes or no?
I don't want to say no. I don't want to say yes because I don't want to give you information that's not accurate. But what I know for sure is that there are individuals in Liberia who are politicians, okay, and have their personal interest above Liberian interests. Okay, and that's a research Liberian people need to make.
All right. I'm not sure this question seems to be a general question. I wish the chairman were here, but this question is coming from the name James Henry Noor. Why makes a vote or a rainbow alliance an alternative? Liberians are seeking for alternative. Everybody been coming. I will do this. I will do this. But
what one of the languages that you will see in vote that you also see it pronounced in the alliance is utilitarianism. Utilitarianism means that anything that we will do, the sheer interest of Liberian people will be felt inside. And that's what makes the institution, the proposed institution alliance different, because you have people within it that have the characteristic of utilitarianism. So therefore, if at all we will be willing to seek the Liberian people interest, that is a good thing that Liberian people look forward to. We are not here to put institution together and divide Liberian people from one point to another. Liberia belongs to Liberia, and we are looking for a leader that would share their vote of leadership to the destination that Liberian people have long to wish for. And we strongly feel that that institution will be the alliance of Liberia. I mean, the political alliance that we are just putting together.
Okay, so let's bring in Angel Pa here. Like you said, we're going to aggressively engage our all landlords. We are doing this for the sake of the Liberian people so that they will be able to make informed decisions. And I'm quite agreed that you will concur with me. So Angel Pa here said, what is Dr. Jeremiah Whapoe position on COP? I'm not sure what specific position this person is referring to. But so, Angel, if you can make it a little bit concise and clear so that he can easily answer. But you want to make an attempt on that question?
Well, this question is a little bit blunt, but I will attempt to answer. My position in COP, I am a member and enthusiast of COP. And let me tell you why I am an enthusiast of COP. I am an enthusiast of COP because COP preaches the popular voices of the Liberian people. COP believes that the 16 billion that was stolen by the government should be brought back so it can be used into the hospital, into the schools in Liberia. COP believes that the 25 million that was stolen from Liberian coffers should be brought so it can be used by the Liberian people. COP believes that there should be equitable distribution of justice in Liberia. That is what Jeremiah Whapoe joined COP, and that's my point, and that's the position I stand on.
So you basically believe, telling up here right here that the 5 or 6 billion stolen by the PDC-led government, correct?
Please make that your question a little bit clearer for me.
Yeah, I was asking, you said the money that was stolen. So I'm asking that you strongly believe that the money, the alleged money, there have been a lot of conversations in the court. You believe that the money was legally taken by the government of Liberia?
Yes, I'm accusing the government publicly. They took the money, they put it into their own boots on the government officials. And the reason of the accusation is that a committee was set up, LACC investigated the alleged embezzlement of the Liberian People Fund, and up to now, the government has refused to make that record public. So until they can come and vindicate themselves, in every unit, in the military, whatsoever the unit does, the commander is responsible. So the government is the commander of their governance body. So therefore, they are responsible until we can have evidence to prove that they were not involved in it. And those who were involved in it can be prosecuted. They are responsible.
So if this is a possible scenario, yeah, then I believe your party or the alliance, the COP or the CPP, the collaborator for, it seems to then suggest to me they have one kind of goal is to bring this to remove the sitting government. Do you strongly believe that as well?
What
I said remove, let me get it right, democratically by going to the
very good. That's where I was going. We will elect this government out. We will elect it out because they do not have the chemistry of governance. They do not have the rectitude of governing. They don't have it. What they believe in is to come and amass wealth for themselves. They come and when we were running for when we all declared our asset in Liberia to run for the presidency, President Weah never had as much as he has right now. And after he declared his asset, the money that he put forward and the LRA that all of us went and declared our asset to has a record. It was not as much as he had right now. President Weah, before he became president of Liberia, he could not pay his child support into the United States. He couldn't pay his child support. So where did he amass their wealth overnight? And his principal lieutenants, where did they amass their wealth overnight? That they are building mansions and others. Until this can come to justice, until they can prove that they have legal documents, legal binding that what they are doing is legal, we will hold them responsible that the wealth that they are amassing is from the profit of the Liberian people.
So it suggests to me, for discussion purposes, if the alliance were to take state power today, can you tell us that the alliance or your party will put for an extensive investigation to bring these corporates to justice of this alleged money we are talking about? Will you do that?
Let me tell you this. If a alliance wins, alliance will bring the culprit of corruption to justice. Even if it is not Jeremiah Whapoe who is in leadership, anybody that wins on the alliance ticket, we will strongly put into our book. Sooner than later, you will be seeing our framework document. When we are in a governance room, how will we hold these people accountable? You will see. And I can tell you this: not later or more, when Jeremiah Whapoe have it to win the presidency, get me right, Liberia will be on a straight trajectory.
If this is so, Dr. Whapoe, if this is so, if that's a strong conviction belief of the alliance, and for example, I've been hearing folks from the CPP talking about, then what is the deal that these people, both of you, come together to form a collaboration? Okay, let me see here. I think one of my other guests is here, Mr. Reginald Goodridge is also here. Let's see if we can get him to be part of this conversation. Okay, there you see him. These are the people that are seeking for the higher office, the upper office of the land. Here come one who is the principal organizers of the alliance of the Rainbow Coalition. Mr. Goodridge, good evening. Let me see. Unmute your mic. Mr. Goodridge, allow your mic. We are not hearing you. Okay. Are you hearing us now?
Okay, I'm allowed. Yes, I'm hearing you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Is that Dr. Whapoe, your vice president for the alliance? That was you guys closer together like that?
No.
I'm not asking you. I'm asking Mr. Goodridge. Mr. Goodridge. Mr. Goodridge, are you there?
You are not coming in too clearly. Okay. I'm here, but you are not coming in too clearly.
Okay. Are you hearing me now? Are you hearing me?
Yes, very clearly.
Okay, good. All right.
Yes.
Okay. quickly here, let's get to it. I've been talking to Dr. Whapoe. Good that you're here to make this appointment as well. Okay, you are the chairperson and one who organized this coalition, not coalition, this Rainbow Alliance, correct? I'm hearing some lot of background noise from your. I don't know who is that. I'm hearing a lot of background noise. Are you hearing me? Are you hearing?
It appears we are having difficulties with the line.
Yes, somebody. I don't know where you are. I'm in a very quiet place. Let me see whether I can make a switch here. But
let me change my location.
okay, I think so. All right.
How is it?
Yeah, that's fine. You go ahead and change your location, and then I will be talking to Dr. Whapoe. Because here
is
now.
It okay now?
Yeah, I'm hearing you. Are you hearing me?
Yes, I am hearing you.
Okay. Okay, talk to me a little bit about the alliance. How you came to the formulation of this alliance?
Well, the Rainbow Alliance came together as a consequence of important individuals coming together and responding to the call of the Liberian people to sort of widen the political space by lowering the number of political parties that are involved in that space. And this process has been going on for a number of years with a number of consultations with about 11, 12 political parties. And we are very happy that because of the seriousness and the integrity of the group of individuals who have been able to put together this Rainbow Alliance in a record period of time.
Okay, I don't know from one of you. I don't know where the noise. I'm getting a lot of feedback here, so I don't know where it's coming from here. But hopefully, folks just bear with us. Okay, so you are the chair of the True Republic, which is TWP, correct?
Yes, indeed, I'm the national chairman.
Were you an associate of any of the political parties in the past?
Well, I don't know what you mean. I affiliated with NPP many years ago, but in 2005, I resigned and returned to the True Party, which is my original party. And I've been national chairman of the True Party since 2015. But seeing that the political landscape is fractured, and perhaps because of that fractured nature of the political landscape, we thought that it would be a good idea for a number of political parties who are not part of the current political dispensation or the 4 political parties that comprise the CPP. We decided that we should come together at this time to make an impact on the political landscape.
So, may I ask what led to the resignation? Because this is one of the issues to Liberians. People, this sort of cross-pollination of politicians from one party to another party does not make our institution to survive. Do you care to share that with us?
Well, it's not a matter of cross-pollination or carpet jumping. As you all know, in 1980, the True Party government was rudely overthrown, and all of its top leadership were gunned down. You know the story already. So for a period of time, the True Party had been in a state of dormancy. And because of that, we affiliated with the NPP and lent to the NPP some of our political experience. And after that period of time, we felt it was necessary to return to the True Party to help to resurrect that party. And we did the best that we could so that in the 2017 elections, for the first time in almost 40 years, we put up about 32 legislative candidates that contested in the elections. So we were instrumental in putting the True Party on the ballot for national elections for the first time in about 37 years.
Okay, hold on one second. I'm trying to work. Are you hearing me?
Very well,
Yes.
very loud and clear.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, I thought I had landed on my point. I had said that it was not. Yes, I landed. Yes.
Okay. Okay, so all right, I see this line yet, and Dr. Whapoe will be coming to you since the chairman just came in here. A lot of questions. So we're also accepting questions online from our these are the people that the coming together of these political parties. What is the possibility of them sustaining at the end of the day? Because you know the history. I know that you know the history. I know of our political institutions coming together. You have the CCP, 4 political parties just emerged, with Saints 11 coming together. Who knows, another 15 going to be coming together. Your ultimate goal is to take state power. So why all of you guys sit down and sort out the differences and see if this government is not doing the right thing to take state power? So what is the big deal on that?
Well, the big deal is that we have the constitutional right to exercise our political franchise in whatever way we feel that is feasible to assist in the growth and development of our country. There are about 26 or 27 registered political parties in Liberia. Between the CDC and the CPP and another NDA, you have about 10 political parties that have formed 3 separate political alliances. Out of those, the remaining 17, we have formed a bloc comprising 12. So I can safely say that for the first time in the 173-year history of our country, we have formed the largest political bloc. Now we are in a vulnerable stage of our existence because the fact that we are on your show and you are throwing at us all of these technical questions and the concerns from the Liberian people at home and abroad is an indication of the interest on the one hand and the frustration that Liberians have experienced in the past over the false start of the various collaborative efforts that political parties have experienced in the past. But we come with a different type of intention. We're not here to create any type of braggadocio, to be too overconfident about our prospects. What we want to do is to give voice to the so-called voiceless political parties. A lot of people are saying, oh, we have a bunch of parties that are broke, they don't have the money, and they are the small parties. But I will submit to you that there is no small party in politics. A party may be small on a national level, but in certain geographical areas, in certain districts and precincts, they are very strong. So if we can amalgamate the strength of all of these parties in the various areas around the country, it makes for a good, strong national showing. And it is our intention to bring a new brand of politics into the Liberian political scene at this time.
So, Mr. Goodridge, you say you are an affiliate of NPP in the past, which of course you have the right. Is it fair to say that you are walking away from NPP so as not to align you maybe with NPP, whatever happened during the civil crisis? Is that the case? Why are you walking?
No, you did not hear. You did not hear what I said earlier on your show. That I resigned from the NPP in 2005. That was 15 years ago. So that has no connection with the current affiliation of the NPP with the current CDC arrangements.
All right. I don't know where the interference is coming from. I don't know. Maybe something else there, but we'll manage it. Folks, please let me know if we have in here. Okay. So, will you be feeding candidates coming this senatorial special elections? We are hearing, being told by sources, potentially in December, around December 15th. Will you be feeding in candidates as well for the senatorial race?
You mean the Rainbow Alliance?
Yes.
Absolutely. That is the whole purpose. Absolutely. We will be fielding candidates and we will be contesting very hard to make sure that we have an immediate impact on in the political process to put some bodies in the national legislature where I think there is a great need for men of great minds and men and women of great minds to go in and try to correct the situation that is prevailing in the country at this time.
It's good to make a guess again. Mr. Reginald Goodridge will be contesting. Maybe you are in Moserado. Moserado happens.
Well, I don't know, and I have not been petitioned, and I can guarantee you that I will not pay anyone to petition me. My primary focus at this time, together with Dr. Whapoe, Dan Saye, Councilor Emmanuel Tule, Lawrence Boya, a whole bunch of a group of good people, our only goal at this time is to put up a formidable block of political parties that will be listened to, that will be emulated, and that will be to make sure that the Liberian people get the just due that they want for this country to move forward.
So let's set up boundaries here. I have before me here, like I told Dr. Whapoe, this is your declarations of intent that you sign as 11 political institutions. On my left side here, this is a framework of another group calling itself CPP. So let's set a line of demarcation here to give our benefit the dial. Who seems to be on the right side of history here in terms of your declarations and the framework by these people here? All of you, the ultimate goal is to take state power. So why not these ideas emerge for the good of the country?
Well, I'm here basically to speak about the Rainbow Alliance, and I cannot say who's on the right, the right side or the wrong side of history. I would suppose we are all on the right side of history. The collaborating political parties comprising 4 parties were formed about 2 years ago, and it's taken them at least 2 years to bring forward a framework document which we respect. We speak to everybody. We know everyone on that at the CPP. They know us. We have been talking. People from the CPP have visited our meetings. We've talked with the leadership. And so we are working together. But the thing is that we come from a conservative perspective, and we do not underestimate anyone. There are certain people in certain political blocs that consider small parties and big parties. In the Rainbow Alliance, we regard every party as equal. We don't look down on people because of perhaps the deepness of their pockets. We are saying in the Rainbow Alliance, we're not looking for political czars with deep pockets. We're looking for political wizards who can bring the goods to the Liberian people either through the electoral process or through the ideas that we propound through our platform, through some of the very great institutions that we're trying to build. We're trying to build an institution, not just a political party that will fade away. I come from an institution like the TWP Party that has lasted for 151 years. It was built around individuals of good report, not just one person. And so the Rainbow Alliance comes with a different type of platform so that through equality and due regard and respect for each and everyone in our alliance, we go forward as equals, not looking down on people because they are small or because they don't have the economic capacity that other people have. No. If we come up with this type of outlook, this is the platform that we are setting for the eventual governance, good governance of the Republic of Liberia.
Okay, talk to me here, Mr. Goodridge here. This is a research here, according to the Afro Barometer research. Is a research group, but this research was done in the sub-Saharan country, but they also extended it to a similar problem that is happening all over, especially in Africa. One of the reasons that they pointed out, according to this research here, the opposition cannot sustain itself because they end up pivoting from their direction for power struggle, and governance party or governance leader party can successfully infiltrate these oppositions, and as a result, there can be some sort of fragmented, they can break away, and government at the end of the day goes through. What is your fear? What are some of your apprehensions? Having 11 political institutions with different beliefs, ideology, to come to a resolve that, okay, we're going to get this done. But we are talking about 2023. Who's going to?
Well, you are absolutely right. Even now in our formative stages, even prior to signing the Declaration of Intent, we were infiltrated and there were attempts made to infiltrate us. But we are sensible people. We've been there, we've done it. And thank God that we are surrounded by equally sensible and committed people. And, you know, it's a political thing. And we know that cash violence plays a major role in politics. But what we are telling our people and our supporters is that you've received cash from people in power. And in essence, they have paid for your loyalty. We don't want to buy loyalty. We want to earn loyalty. We want to sign a pact with the Liberian people that if we win and when we win, we all want to be partners in progress. The time for billing bus stops and paying out cash and sending bags of rice to communities for votes is past. A lot of people have been burned in that process. You eat a bag of rice, you use a bus stop, but as soon as you elect a senator or a president or a representative, the next day they get in a great convoy and they put darkness on the windows and they don't see you anymore because they have already bought you. You have no more part to play in the governance of the country. But if you come to a party and you support a party or a candidate from the perspective of ideas, then you can say, hey, you owe me something. But once I have bought your vote for a bag of rice, I don't owe you anything, and I can go on and do whatever I want to do, and that creates a disconnect between the governed and those who are in government, and we don't want that to happen.
So talk to me here, Mr. Goodridge. How are you saying that the CPP folks, you guys are talking, potentially in the final analysis, in the finale, there must be a possible collaboration with these people? Is that a possible scenario in this and that?
Well, we are talking, but not in terms of what you are suggesting. It's not just the CPP that is talking to us, other political leaders. We have even gotten signals from the ruling dispensation that they want to talk, even though they have not said so outrightly. We are getting, conversations from independent political parties. We're getting talk from other political parties that have not yet signed on with the Rainbow Alliance. We know all of this, but we are right now interested in talking, yes, but we're interested in, first of all, building a solid foundation, an unbreakable foundation. Our primary focus right now is to keep our alliance together so that we can be in a position to withstand any type of offer, any type of games that are being played by our opponents to try to break us up. That is our primary focus right now. If we're going to be having a conversation with any other political bloc, it will not be a conversation of whether or not to join. It will be a conversation where we will be doing most of the listening, and we will revert back to our group and say, this is what is on the table. Let's talk about it. Let's ignore it. But the resolution that we came out today in our meeting is that we are not going to be accepting any offers for any merger at this time until such time when we are comfortable with our solid foundation that we are building, and we are comfortable with the confidence that we have that we can engage the Liberian people first rather than engage other political parties.
So, okay, let me bring Dr. Whapoe here. Both of you here now, at least I've had some time, and we can be pushing it all around. You can, we would kind of push on the question here. Is there any possible scenario where you will also sit down with the ruling party, the coalition, to sit? Is there any possible scenario on top of your head that you can also sit like other political parties? They are talking to you, Dr. Whapoe, the alliance?
Well, sitting, anybody can sit, but what we're sitting for is what matters. If the ruling party can come to us, confer with us to project some ideas that will have the sheer interest of the Liberian people, we're going to say hallelujah to that. But what will we not subscribe to is to clap our hands on evil that has been done to the Liberian people repeatedly. We're not going to sit on any table for that. We're going to sit on table for what Liberian people have interest in. So we are willing to say, but it depends what we are called to sit for.
So let me just flip it around. Do you think any evil has been done in the past to the Liberian people from the ruling party?
Of course. Stealing the $16 billion is an evil. That's the people money. It's supposed to go and benefit in the very hospital has been potentially closed in Liberia. Children are not going to school. There's no laboratory building in Liberia. The $25 billion that was embezzled by this government can be used in those directions. Is that not evil enough for you? There's no medication in the hospital, so people can be treated to have second chance to come home, and the money was stolen. So is that not evil enough for you? I think that that's evil for me. So those are things that when people call us on the table, we'll be projecting. And if I all will pronounce these things and they found us to be indifferent with them, yeah, we are indifferent with them because they are not dispensing the leadership in a way that Liberian people will benefit from it.
So, Mr. Goodridge, let me bring you in. What's your word in that? You listen to Dr. Whapoe, what he was saying. Mr. Goodridge, are you there? You have to unmute. You got to unmute your mic. Yeah, I don't know why he did that. It's not from my end. Mr. Goodridge, you want to unmute? Okay. Are you there now? All right. I think, okay. I think he have issued. Are you there, Dr. Whapoe?
I'm here.
Yeah, I don't know why he went out. He can still join us here. Hopefully, he tries to do that here. Okay, so this is we will still be getting questions. Let me see here. Let me see here. Make it very easy. Okay, yeah. Someone is saying here again. Views expressed on this network here will facilitate these conversations that we do not reflect the views and opinions of our onliners, but we also allow them to participate. So somebody is saying here. The actions of the alliance potentially will make it very easy for George Weah's second term. Mr. Goodridge, unmute your phone, unmute your mic. Just unmute your mic.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yes, I've done that.
Okay, thank you. You are with us. Okay, let me just throw the kitchen sink that is coming from one of our onliners. You said the alliance, the forming of this alliance of 11 political parties, just want to make life easier for Dr. Weah's second term for 6 years. Do you agree with this person?
Well, obviously, our friend there has a right to his opinion. I don't know on what basis, whether it's empirical or whatever, I don't know. But if they're saying that the coming together of all of the political, or most of the political opposition in Liberia will make it easier for the re-election of the CDC government, what would they say if 26 political parties put a candidate on the ballot? I mean, I cannot follow the reasoning, but I think that in our motto is strength in unity. And I think if we put up a united front, it gives us a better chance to speak with one voice and put a united front to the Liberian people. I really cannot follow his reasoning.
Okay, talk to me here. And please, you are the chairman of this alliance. Dr. Whapoe is a strong presence of this alliance. Supposedly, I'm just making a guess game here. 2023 for me, as far as I'm concerned, is almost like a next month.
Yes.
So the Liberian people know, Mr. Goodridge, Dr. Whapoe. When will the Liberian people know? Because part of that, you politicians, you guys do not give us enough time for us to make informed decisions. When will we know your candidate? Who I'm serious. And now, I don't want any political correctness statement here this afternoon. It is very, very humid in the East Coast here, even though airco is on. But please, and these Liberian people that are listening, that's one of the reasons, because your politicians, y'all leave her hanging like a bat. Y'all were waiting to die a minute, and y'all throw something at us, and we're forced to have it going down through our esophagus with severe pain. Who is going to be on top of this 11 political institutions coming together as an alliance? Rainbow is a very beautiful thing. When will we unearth this rainbow? Dr. Whapoe is laughing. You seem to be on top. You seem to be the number 2 person. Who is the number 3 person?
We can assure you, Alfonso, that you will be the first person to know once we come to that decision. But that decision is down the road. The CPP has been around for more than 2 years, and even they have not put out the candidates. It probably will be presumptuous at this time. We've just listen now. We've just been organized for 7 days, and you're telling us already to put forward a candidate. We have to work on our framework document. We have to work on our code of conduct. We are doing things. But in due course, you will be the first one to whom we will break that news.
Now you are kicked the can down the road. You earlier alluded that you are not going to be talking about CPP. Now this is the same political correctness statement. I think I can get this answer from Dr. Whapoe. Dr. Whapoe.
What answer are you looking for? The answer that who will be our candidate?
There you go. He's not.
Man, I think the chairman said everything, and I have no, I cannot buy for a decision. But what we will know is that one thing I know I can tell you is that we've got to pass through the democratic process of who represents our institution. We're not going to rush, and we know that Liberian people are not rushing. I think what Liberian people are rushing for is the leadership that will dispense in the contents of their happiness. That's what Liberian people are looking for, and we are standing by to produce that. Therefore, we will take our own time, pass through all the procedure, put the framework down, put all the code of conduct, that will behavioral code of conduct. We're going to put it down, and one that is endorsed by everybody. Then we'll go through what our code of conduct will tell us, what our framework will tell us when it comes to electing or selecting our representatives. Representative meaning that somebody that will represent us as a senator on the ticket, on the alliance ticket, they will be able to pronounce that to you. But at this time, I think it's a little premature to tell you who is going to be what on a party ticket.
Okay, and I know one thing, hopefully we will come to attend both Mr. Goodridge and Dr. Whapoe. Financial violence has been key into the political process in most of the countries, not to leave Liberia out, which we are talking about here. What is the financial strength in terms of this alliance waging an effective campaign to go to someone way inside Plibo, inside Grange, and tell these people, because you know what? These people have been for so long, they have felt disappointment about their government, the way in government treat them, lack of transparency, equity, and all of that. How do you intend to direct this message to them to say, okay, this person here, we can give them the second talk? Do you have all of the resources to wage an effective campaign?
Well, resources are important, but they're also relative. One of the great things about our alliance is that we have no geographical limits. Because of the makeup of the alliance, we have people right now who are geographically dispersed throughout the country. So if we wanted to make an impact in Lofa, we don't need to have someone come from Monrovia and some of the other political parties and drive all the way out there. We already have a structure because we have someone from Lofa who is embedded in the alliance. And I can say this safely for every county in Liberia. So, you know, as in terms of finances will be made available through our own ingenuity, through our fundraising efforts, and through the manner in which we present ourselves to the electorate. So wealth, again, does not only come in dollars and cents. We have a lot of assets in terms of our ingenuity and many other assets that we can employ in any electoral campaign.
Now, I agree. You said the presidential is way ahead, but I've been told by sources the senatorial race is December. And that's a very important part. If you are to take state power today, the drive of your agenda of the administration, for example, if the Rainbow Coalition to take the executive branch of government, is to have people who will also push your agenda. Do you have men and women that are already shortlisted to contest in this? You're smiling. Now you are going to you're going to make another statement again that will tell us to go to CPP, and that I don't want to go. Do you have men and women standing by already to champion this cause of the Rainbow Alliance?
I can assure you that we do. Even prior to us coming together, each political party, I'm certain, within our alliance, had people who had been targeted or people who had walked up and said, "Hey, I want to contest on your party ticket," so that there would be no shortage of candidates to vie on the ticket of the Rainbow Alliance in the senatorial elections in December. I can assure you of that.
Dr. Whapoe, you talk to me. How did this nomenclature of this Rainbow Alliance come to? Why Rainbow? Why this Rainbow name was attached to this alliance?
Well, thank you. I think the name Rainbow signifies the abolition of certain things. When the rainbow was first introduced biblically, I think it was introduced to stop the flood that came and overcame the world in biblical history. The rainbow was debated on in our technical committee and in our plenary. And the rainbow signifies our diversity, our diversity of institutions and diversity of ideas that yet finds common ground to stop the perpetual suffering of the Liberian people, the perpetual political aggrandizement of individuals, and the perpetual entrapment of Liberian people into poverty. That's more or less what the rainbow represents. It represents the abolition of every ill that has been surfacing in our political dispensation in Liberia. And it came with the wisdom of diverse individuals who have come together to pronounce and project the utilitarian interests of the Liberian people. That's how it came about.
Mr. Goodridge, you want to add on that?
Yes, you know, oftentimes, especially in the recent history of Liberia, we've had politics based on geographical areas of the country or ethnicity or tribal linkages. And I don't think it works. It has not worked very well. You know, when someone from the Southeast gets power, you know, a huge majority of the jobs and benefits goes to the Southeast. And it happens with every other area. So what we are saying is we want geographical balance. You know, the rainbow has a lot of colors. And when all of the colors are merged through a prism, you see white. And so rainbow is supposed to bring together everyone in Liberia, regardless of tribe, regardless of social standing, regardless of religion. The only thing on which we want to judge people is by the content of their character, by the capacity of their brains and the commitment to the development of Liberia. And so the rainbow is a symbolism that brings all of us together in one united front to correct many, many of the problems that Liberians are now encountering. That is the purpose of the rainbow, to bring hope, new hope to the Liberian people.
It seems to me there's some sort of a covenant. I'm not sure whether that's the right word I'm using, because our politicians, you guys came from different backgrounds, but it coming to a consensus for the common good of the country. Is there some sort of covenant here that these 11 parties will stick together no matter what? Was there some sort of commitment? I know it's very hard. Nobody want to commit themselves and nobody want to put their life on the line. But have you come to a resolve to discuss all of these details, the ups and downs that might happen or may happen along the way, no matter what, taking the rainbow to reach to the final end of this political marathon of 2023? Have you come to that resolve?
Alfonso, apparently you might have been eavesdropping on our meeting today. We had a marathon meeting for almost 7 hours, and we discussed many, many of these issues. We had a very heated conversation today because today was historic. Prior to today's meeting, we had been meeting as under the caption of registered political parties. Today was the first time that we actually met as the Rainbow Alliance. And everything that you've spoken about on this show today were brought up to the table. We are discussing them. But this covenant that you talked about is very real, because we are saying that when people begin to overlook you and when people begin to remove that voice that you are entitled to by virtue of your political rights, then you become more committed. And we are committed. We're not saying that things may not happen, that paid agents will not come in any of the parties to try to disarrange what we have put together. It is possible. It is possible that there may be some ill feeling with members of our alliance. But one thing that has happened so far that gives me confidence is that we have not had occasion to take any vote on any of the issues that we've talked about. Every major decision that we've made, we've been able to come through this decision through consensus, even if it meant kicking the ball down the road for a few days. Everybody go home, think about it, sleep about it, and come back. We've been able to do things by consensus. The fact that no one heard about the Rainbow Alliance until it was launched to the press is another testament of our maturity and our seriousness. We have been talking for months, but no one got a hint of this thing until it was announced to the press a few days ago. So therein lies our strength, because we keep things to our chest. We air out our differences openly to each other. I think this makes for a great adventure together, and going forward, I think it will make for a great Rainbow Alliance.
Okay, before we go by, let me throw this one to Dr. Whapoe here, because people are listening, all right, and we like to engage our all learners. Yamaya is saying, I hope this rainbow is truly the biblical rainbow, not the LGBTQ rainbow. So people are concerned. People wants to know what is going on and what is happening in real time. Not these sort of political missions and biggerings of our politicians that are so grounded and know how to flip things around. Dr. Whapoe, you are laughing.
I am laughing because that question reflects me to our debate when we were having debate in 2017, the presidential debate. This question of LGBT, gay, lesbian, whatever you was posed to some of the presidential candidates, and they murmur on that or to find their position. But with me, my position is clear. My position is that if my mother had chosen to be a lesbian, I wouldn't have been born. Had my father chosen to be a gay, I wouldn't have been born. So therefore, the idea that whether the rainbow is a true biblical rainbow, the answer is yes, it's a true biblical rainbow. Anything that is contaminated, that is not of actual nature of civilized humankind, we will not endorse it, and I will not support that. So in nutshell, this rainbow is a rainbow that comes with hope for the Liberian people. It's a rainbow that comes with utilitarianism for the Liberian people. It's a rainbow that comes to stop the perpetual entrapment of Liberian people into the trap of poverty. That's what the rainbow is about. The rainbow is not associated with any LGBTQ and what have you. We are straight people. To be clear, I am straight, and I know my chairman is a straight person. You know what I'm saying? So, okay, we are not LGBTQ.
So, Mr. Goodridge, yeah, this seems to be a definitive answer now is being provided by Dr. Whapoe of VOT. So let me hear from the TWP. Are you on par with him?
Well, I think that whoever posted that thing was being facetious and it's laughable. We are talking serious business here. You know, obviously, you know, being in politics, you have to be tolerant of everybody's views, of everybody's leanings. If anyone wants to be gay or lesbian or queer, it's not my business, it's their business. But it's what we bring to the table that matters. So you cannot label a group of very serious people who are doing serious business in that manner. If any other group in the world is named by way of the rainbow, it's okay by me. But I can guarantee that we will not discriminate on the basis of anyone preferential way of living. We are not a discriminatory alliance.
Okay, let me say this. I don't like to go off principles or based on the arrangement. I'm getting tweet here. Some people want the number to call, but I also told them that we're going to be getting numbers. I mean, a question from the Facebook field. That way, I establish the genuineness, the substance of the discussion. Because you know, because of this polarization, divisiveness in our politics today, will not condone except anybody for their own purposes to insult any of my guests, even though that's not a tradition of this network here. So, are you guys comfortable that we take some phone calls as well?
It's open. It's good by me.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So, all right. Let me post. We're posting the number here on the air. So, Dr. Whapoe, Mr. Goodridge, if I listen to tons of podcasts, surrogates, supporters of the government, the opposition, if they are always getting they are getting to one another's throat. The opposition more or less in desperation in the sense that they are seeking for state power, not that they are dying, not that anybody is taking their life away. but I can get a strategic policy to ideas, the core names, the stigmatize other people and stuff like that. I feel very uncomfortable. That's my own perception. That's my own belief. But I'm not seeing how they are interpreting the message of the institutions or the political party that they support to give hope. George, we are talking, what about 60 million, 10 millions, whatever it is? It's like the man is sick. I'm quite sure when you, Mr. Goodridge and Dr. Whapoe, visit a sick person in your hospital, you're going to restore hope by telling them what they need to do to take medication to restore hope. But when they kept consistently reminding me of the 50 million, this is not happening, that is not happening, and they are not putting forward tangibles, then I still have issue as to whether these political institutions are really to end business for the country. When will we see this Rainbow Alliance come up with a strategic policy as to how they're going to drive the economic system, the growth, the agriculture, to make the country the developmental agenda, to make Liberia to be what it is? When will we see that sort of doxy or plan coming into place for us to have a substance discussion?
Well, that is a very good question, but it appears to me, Alfonso, that you are just as excited as we are to get things moving right away. I continue to remind you that we only signed our declaration of intent 96 hours ago. So our next plan, we just launched a plan of action today that every party within the alliance will go home and study. And the next thing is to put together our code of conduct, then our framework document, and lastly, but not unimportantly, our platform. But as we are doing these things, even before we sign our declaration of intent as a Rainbow Alliance, the political parties within this group made an impact on the political scene. We fought vehemently against the government's attempt to impose on us Mr. Wabudiki, this guy with character. We went on air, we faced a Liberian Senate, and we made our presentation, and we had impact. We got lauded from some international partners that for the first time, they realized that the opposition political parties have some teeth. The second impact that we made was when the president imposed the state of emergency. We said to the president, it is good and well in fighting COVID-19 to put forward a political plan. We have not seen any economic plan by way of an economic stimulus package or anything that will help to alleviate the burdens of the Liberian people and keep their livelihood going during the period of the lockdown. The government responded by going to some of the 7 proposals we made with respect to paying salaries, providing goods and services for the Liberian people, and ensuring that power and water were available. So we have been making impact even prior to signing our declaration of intent. And so we just sent a marker out there that these are the issues and many more that we will be taking out to make sure that our government works as the way it's supposed to work.
Okay. All right, we get a caller here. Let me ask this question and then I will come to you guys. Hello, caller, are you there?
Yes, I'm there. Thank you for this conversation. And I want to say good afternoon to your studio guests or your guests on the platform. They're not in studio, but yet they are on the virtual connection right now. So I'm glad to be accepted on this show.
Yeah, go ahead.
I got one question that had 2 babies, and it goes like this: when the LGBT was just posed, the question was just posed when the killer just mentioned about what kind of rainbow. I heard that before. Whapoe clearly dismissed this group of people calling them uncivilized, and Mr. Goodridge came out and said they are not discriminatory. I'm a bit confused as to what messages they are sending out there. And the second part of my question is, Mr. Goodridge spoke, highly about the TWP-5 Party. Yes, indeed, I saw you on the Senate floor making the argument in Wabudiki. I watched that Senate hearing very live, and so I want to understand what is about the two party that brutally, hurt the Liberian people that have a very dark day. The Liberian people don't want to hear about two party. And here is a person bragging about the two party over 130 years plus of our country. So let him help us to understand what difference can the two party bring this time forward within this alliance.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll be going to the entrance. Let me get you off, or we are running out of time. Yes, sir, too. Okay, guys, are you there?
Yes, we are here.
Okay, I believe you heard the question. Who wants to go first?
Doc, you want to go? Well, let me go because I think that the caller, threw some arrows at the Truitt Party, and all I can say to that caller that if you think the Truitt Party was such a bad government, what will you say about the government that you had just a few years ago and the government that you have now? I keep saying that if you keep looking back long enough, you will not see the rock ahead of you that will stump your toe. Every government that comes to power has its pluses and its minuses. And everyone will agree with me that the Truitt Party was not a perfect government. But believe me, the Truitt Party brought respectability to Liberian politics. The Truitt Party had a lot of great input into world affairs. And the history is there for everyone to read. But like I continue to say, you cannot judge people on what they have done and have not done when they have a great plan going forward. What I can say to you is what we bring to the table is experience. We bring experience from not only the Truitt Party, but also the NPP, the Unity Party, as well as the CDC that is governing now. We have looked at all of the errors, we look at all of the successes, we look at all of the potential and the pitfalls, and we're saying, well, wait a minute. We know all of these things, but we can do better. So as we are going forward, if you want to go back to 130 years of history, it's too bad, sir, because if we were to enumerate the successes and failures of the Truitt Party, believe me, it will outshine everything that every other government has done in the past, including what has been happening now. So we don't want to look back. We appreciate your views, but let's be cognizant of the fact that we have a great opportunity. If everyone were to come to Liberia now and find out that there's no investment, investors are not coming here, that every Liberian has low self-esteem about themselves, they rather go somewhere else, they rather trumpet the successes of Ivory Coast and Ghana and the United States rather than trumpet the success of Liberia. We want to build a self-esteem of the Liberian people. Let them begin to feel good about themselves. And if Liberians begin to feel good about themselves, they will rise up to the potential of rebuilding a very beautiful country that we have here. We have a wonderfully wealthy country, but we're abusing our country. We're abusing ourselves. Let's start hating each other. Let's not stop pointing fingers at each other for whatever may or may not have happened. Let's look forward. And that's why, after the rain comes the rainbow. It is raining now in Liberia, and the rainbow is circling over this country to bring hope and prosperity to a wonderfully beautiful country. Thank you, sir.
Okay, let me take two more questions here, and then caller from Australia, either Euro or Australia. Go ahead. What's your question?
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Sion. Good morning to your panelists and yourself.
Yeah,
I have a question for the Alliance Chairman, Mr. Goodridge. Mr. Goodridge, I want to know, what type of guarantee will you guys give the Liberian people when they vote you guys into power 2023? The Truitt Party will not bring their Masonic crowd business, their Boyo business, because it's in near the Cape when I was a little boy in 1968. It ran beyond me on Benson Street there. You understand? And most of our people were affected, were innocently. And then number two, I believe Truitt Party have been a party for the past 150 years. They were not developmental. They're marching OAU were formed right in Liberia. And then President Tubman allowed Haile Selassie to take the headquarters. The African Development Bank was to be built in Liberia. President Todman again refused, and also when he took those things, and those things, though infrastructure, they are for development purpose. And today, see our country and our resources. We learned Queen Elizabeth, they took our diamond and our GP and.
Okay, let me make the question short now, so I'll bring the other person in. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Our GP were almost. We're in Japan after World War II. Our GP and Japan were also on the same level, and the same ruling party were in power. What type of guarantee you guys are not development oriented? That particular party there, while other people were building, and you understand what type of guarantee can you give we the Liberian that it will vote you guys to power? That will bring development into Liberia and abrogate that Boyo business, the Masonic crab business. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Guri, hold on. Let me just get a second call out the question that you just wrap up there on that. Okay. 612. Call. What's your name and where you calling from? What's your question?
This is Ben. I'm calling from Minnesota. Yeah. So this is my question. We all know that the government that we have now is bad. And we know that the opposition that will get there will not do anything. Why is it the opposition can't sit down with this government and just ask for their paid off? Let the government get the money, will sit down and not just waste money on election. Because if history is anything that we must go by, we know African leaders, since the past 30 years, unless they decide to resign, they win the second term. Why do you guys want to waste money? Knowing that these guys will win in any hook or shook. If history is something that we must go by, they will win second term. Thank you.
All right. Okay. So, Mr. Goodridge, let me not overload you. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Okay, go ahead. I believe you heard the questions. Go ahead.
Well, I want to commend the first caller for pointing out some of the successes of the TWP party government. The fact that we had the highest growth rate in the world, second only to Japan. The fact that most of the international organizations were the brainchild of Liberia during the TWP party days. All of these things are good. But you see, sometimes when you're pointing one finger at one person, you don't see the other fingers that are pointed back at you. I will not here be an apologist for the success or failure of the TWP party. I want to be an apologist for whatever the Rainbow Alliance is trying to build. Now, I understand the concerns that you have about certain fraternities. You mentioned the Masonic craft, you mentioned the Boyo business, but I didn't hear you mention the Mlen, the Boyo, and all of the other traditional societies. Every culture in the world has certain things. In the United States, for example, you have mass shootings, you have various cults. These things are all over the world. So if you want to use one paintbrush to paint a certain group of people or political parties because certain things happen in the country during the reign, I think it's unforgivable and it's unfair. A lot of things are even happening now. People are dying on the beach with fake drowning. People are having certain suspicious accidents on the highway. We don't talk about those things. We don't talk about speculation and gossip. We want to talk about the real issues. What are the driving issues of the Liberian people? What are we doing about teenage pregnancy in this country? What are we doing about hundreds and thousands of Liberians graduating from college and cannot find jobs? What are we doing about poverty? What are we doing about people who yesterday were sitting down playing marble in the sand in the ghetto, and now they're riding $90,000 cars with 6 and 7 convoys burning up our resources? Let's talk about a real issue. Why you don't want to talk about Boyo and all of those things like that? It is not the issue we are talking about now. We are talking about real people, bringing real ideas to the table, bringing about real issues that all Liberians together can participate and see the real meaning in development. I continue to say we are a very beautiful country. We're a very rich country, but Liberians are not benefiting. Most of the industries in this country are run by Nigerians, by Lebanese, by Indians, by Chinese. Naming one industry that is run by Liberians in this country. So are we going to get serious and claim our country? I came home from the United States in 1990. I've only been back once. I'm patriotic. I love Liberia. Many of you sit now in Australia, in the United States, and elsewhere. When last did you come home to make your quota? It is good to sit down in your cushion, in your comfortable air-conditioned homes, and castigate people in this. You have to be careful. Let's be real. Let's be meaningful in whatever we try to do. We appreciate Alfonso for what he's trying to do, bring about these issues. But if we want to castigate people, if we want to criticize, let's be constructive in our criticism. Let's provide answers for some of the issues. I've been here through the war. I see people. I sponsor people on scholarships. I'm looking after people in this country. Let's try to look after Liberia. Let's not point fingers in the wrong direction. I think if we continue to be patriotic and mean what we see and say what we mean, in 2 or 5 or 10 years from now, if we have the same conversation, we have a golden country on the hill that we all can be proud of.
Okay. Let me go to the last caller here, then we'll be wrapping up here. Caller, thank you so much for holding the line. Are you there, caller?
Yeah.
What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Jerry Donald. I'm from the state of Iowa, to be specific, the city of Des Moines.
Okay.
Mr. Zion, thank you very much for breaking those nice gentlemen on board, those who have Liberia hat. That's good, Mr. Whapoe, and your friend. Happy to see you guys talk with y'all. My question to the gentleman from the TWP party. Now, here is my question to you, brother. My county, Nimba County, gave one of the highest revenue to the Republic of Liberia. I would like for you to tell me, what did we gain from the iron ore? I would like to know the road that you built from Yekepa to Camfo. I would like to know the road that you built from Yekepa to Sanikole. I would like to know the road that you built from Sanikole to Ganta. I would like to know the road that you built from Sanikole to Saklepier. I would like for you to know the road that you built from Saklepier to Tapeta. That's one question. Then, Mr. Whapoe, my good brother.
Whapoe is okay. Hold on. Whapoe is back with us here. Let me see. Okay, go. Yeah, go ahead.
My good brother, Mr. Whapoe, you took vote for Liberia. One of your party, I think, was vote, and you did good. It's because you're from a Goodridge County that you are the only people from the CTWP who took out Jackson door close and put it in the barrack. For that, it's the same CTWP that worked for Borough Duane, that worked for all the group of forces that were in Limba, that they disgrace them and put them in jail and they suffer. This is the same CTWP that tomorrow, when you win, the leadership of our dream, the president is Benedict Wanda, is not Jackson Tiado, equally should be done to you. The vice president is not Whapoe, it's going to be another person from the TWP.
Well, how you know that Whapoe will not be the vice president? Okay, let me go to.
Well, because the reason, the reason after this question is we follow history. I'm following trademark. The government of the TWP used to go to Yekepa and spend the night, and he comes to Sanikole. Then after meeting, he goes back to Yekepa. Sanikole was nothing for him. So Mr. Whapoe now is coming in for him to be this someone for to answer that question with the TWP.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. Okay. All right, let me go to my guest again, gentlemen. Views and opinions expressed on this network is not a view and opinions of the management of the Liberia Public Radio, but sometimes we develop these high call and painful issues, and it's good. Sometimes we talk about them in open air, and I know a lot of people are not comfortable having those sort of discussions here. But again, we'll try to do the best. Are you guys hearing me?
Sure.
Yeah, okay. So
you are breaking.
Yeah, all right. Let me see here. All right. Who wants to go for it? Dr. Whapoe? The message you want to be vice president.
I didn't hear the question.
Oh, really? Okay, you heard a question, Dr. Whapoe?
Yes, I heard the question. I came in the middle, but I think I got a little bit of the gist of it, and the ingredient of the question is well digested.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, let me appeal to the sentiment of the gentleman who asked the question. His concerns are legitimate. Tory party was in power for many years. He was asking, where is the road that they built from Monrovia to Senecole, from Ganta to Maryland, and you name it. His concerns are legitimate, but every regime comes with its own circumstance. I definitely understand. And he also argued and inquired about whether the Tory party that naked my late uncle Jackson Edo, I'm aligning with Tory party. I think it's better to naked my uncle than to kill my uncle, because Tory party didn't kill my uncle. It was our own very people that came and slaughtered him, and today we cannot identify his remains, not his grave, as we can speak. So what I'm trying to get at here is that if we want to build a nation, we should build a nation with forgiveness. We should build a nation with hope for transformation. We should build a nation where everybody will find their own identity. I'm not disapproving that. I'm not disapproving or proving that the Tory party has some ills when they were in governance power, but I don't think the ills that were done by Tory party is as grievous as what we are seeing in recent history. I strongly know that when Tory party was in power, Tory party did not put 13 people on the light pole to kill them. I didn't see that. Maybe history did, except those who were accused and they were guilty from the court of law that were hung up according to the law of Liberia. I'm not disputing that. But I also believe that when Tory party was in power, corruption is a norm that is acceptable by certain people. But I don't think when Tory party was in power, the Tory party disenfranchised a certain group, certain segment of the society, or the Tory party say, look, this bunch of money, let's take it and we'll put it here and we'll use it for ourselves. So I am not advocating for Tory party, and I'm not defending Tory party in any manner. What I'm trying to say here is that we know the history, but can we build a better Liberia that everybody will be inclusive so everybody can benefit versus certain segment of the people benefiting? That's the Liberia we are looking forward to.
Okay.
That's the Liberia we're looking forward to.
Dr. Whapoe, hold on. Let me see. Let me pick the call from Liberia and see. Hello, caller, are you there?
I didn't call you.
Hello? Yeah.
I'm Memo Toba calling from Senegole.
Yeah, okay, so how are you, Mr.
Usually, I like to listen to the show, but because I don't work power most of the time.
Are you following us now?
Yes, I follow it, and when this gentleman was asking about some the one of the guests was there answering the question, so I just have a contribution.
Okay.
And my state is, I may be wrong, but political institution in Liberia, there is no institution. All the politics in Liberia are built around individual. Even in, to all credit to a true party was an institution. Now I can say there was a only functional political institution.
Okay. I don't know. He went off the line here. So I guess we'll soon be wrapping up here. So let me see. Let me bring Mr. Goodridge out. Only when he calls back now, we'll take his question. But I think we have had this. We have had this conversation lengthily. I know it's kind of a little bit late. We don't want to. Are you guys hearing me, gentlemen?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I say I guess we're going to be wrapping up now. It's been a long way. But let me give you guys a chance to respond to some of these questions that were coming in, and then we'll get to the closing remark. How's that?
So, like I was saying, I want to just make a comment. Like I was saying, I'm not here to juxtapose what happened in Tory party regime and what has happened in other people's regime. Are we done that? Then we'll be able to bring skill. Which of them, which of these regimes has done more evil to the Liberian people than the other? I don't want to dwell into that. But what I want to dwell into is to give hope to Liberian people, looking at the brighter future. We are all intertwined, interrelated in Liberia. Can we build a system, a justice system in Liberia, where when people who were engaged in in activities that will abuse the rights of the Liberian people can be taken to court, and they'll have their fair day in the court. And when they are guilty of the fact, they can be prosecuted under the law. Can we do that? Can we have a leadership that will believe in the law, that will blind their eyes on relatives, on ethnicity, and take people to justice, and when they are guilty, and penalize them because of the law? That's the institution we are looking forward to build. Whether it can be built by the 11th political party that formed the alliance, whether it can be built by CTV, that's the kind of Liberian we are looking forward to. There are a lot of things that are happening in Liberia. If I all want to build a better nation, we need to look forward and digging deeper into history. Have we done that? I don't think there will be a time where we'll be able to read one another. I think we should build a nation where all of us will find stake into it.
Okay. Mr. Goodridge?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're loud and clear.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right. Well, first of all, I'd like to say thanks to Alfonso for organizing this talk. I want to admit here that in the early part of your show, I really enjoyed your questions because you were talking about issues and possibilities. I can't say as much about some of the comments that have come from some of the callers because I don't think they really understand the issue. They are being personal. They are looking back at who did what and things like that. We're looking at the future. We're looking at the future of our country. I mean, if you were to do an analysis of which party did what in the past, trust me, I think the True Party will far outdistance many of the other parties. But that's not the issue here. What will Liberia look like a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now? If I were to ask any of your callers, if you were to be elected senator, or representative, or president of this country, what would you do on your first day in office? What is it that you want to do to make sure that education is upgraded in Liberia? That out of every 500 students that come out of high school, less than 10 of them are able to spell their name. What are you going to do about poverty? How are we going to lift our people out of poverty? How are we going to ensure that there is decency, that when investors come to our country and by the time they enter our airports, they are ready to pack the bags and return because everybody is harassing them for something? When are we going to restore confidence and decency to our country? When are we going to look at ourselves and look at each other and judge each other not by what happened in the past, not by what tribe or what ethnic group you come from or which party you belong to and what this party did or what this party did not do? We want to judge each other about what it is that you can do for yourself. What is it that you can do for your country? Let's start thinking positively about ourselves, about Liberia. It does not mean because you feel in one endeavor that you cannot pick up the pieces and move on and be successful in a new endeavor. I've said to every Liberian that I left the States in 1991 and came into a war. Many Liberians have come to Liberia and after it's too hot. I cannot stay here anymore. And you know, they become so queer, like we say in Liberia. I look at them in my lap. They cannot bathe in buckets. They cannot do this. And they go back and they criticize everything about Liberia. If a foreigner came to Liberia, the worst things that a foreigner hears about Liberia comes from Liberians. The sooner we begin to feel good about ourselves, the sooner we begin to see the positives in Liberia. Yes, there are many negatives, but the sooner we begin to see the positives and try to put our hands together and work to make something good out of the positives that we see, the better Liberia will be. We are all committed to this cause. The Rainbow Alliance is not for joke. I've seen some of the comments from the people. We're not here to receive brown envelopes from anyone. In fact, people are sending money to us. We're saying, no, we don't want your money. We don't care for your money. We care about the issues. We care about the values of Liberia. Liberia is not an insignificant country. Liberia participated in the creation of the League of Nations. We participated in the creation of the United Nations, of ECOWAS, of the OAU. We have been there. We have done it. What has Liberia done recently? Someone is talking about roads and things like that. But when we had laterite roads in Liberia in the old days, you could drive throughout this country, throughout any weather in this country. Right now, through the rainy season, half the country is cut off because when people send out there to fix the road, they are stealing parts from the generators. They are stealing the fuel oil. The theft rate in Liberia is so high these days, it's suffocating. When are we going to become honest? When are we going to break down this corrupt thing that we have in this country? There are many issues that we have to fight for in this country. Let's not be pointing fingers at people for little trivial things. Let's talk about the real things, the character of our people, the character of ourselves, and what we can do for Liberia, and not necessarily what Liberia can do for us. Thank you so much, sir, for this opportunity.
Okay, I want to thank you so much. This is the million-dollar question here. I've been hearing Liberians and other people, that's their view, war crime code, economic crime code. I want to know whether the Rainbow Alliance has taken a definitive position before I let you go.
I did not hear the question, sir. There was a lot of distortion.
Yeah, I was asking Mr. Goodridge whether the Rainbow Alliance has taken a definitive positions about economic crime code, war crime code, as many Liberians, quote unquote, others are calling for that. Have you taken a definitive position on that? For economic crime code, war crime?
We have not taken any position as the Rainbow Alliance. I think we have our pact among ourselves that before anyone goes public with any position, collectively the Rainbow Alliance has to decide. We have not taken any position on that, and at this point I'm not at liberty to issue my own opinions about these matters, but they are very critical issues, and I'm certain that in due course the Alliance will be bringing out its position on these matters. They are very important.
Dr. Whapoe?
Yeah, he's right, but with me, I can take position on that now for myself. I'm not speaking for the Rainbow, but I had the authority tomorrow. Economic crime code will be here now. Economic crime code will be here right now, so that people who believe that embezzlement of public funds and putting it into their own use, because the idea of stealing public funds has entrapped Liberian people into poverty so much that it's difficult. It's almost impossible for individuals to claim the social ladder. So if we will come to leadership, we should be clear on this. Anybody that you in the happiness of taking public funds for your personal use so that you can keep yourself into power to suppress the people, you must be brought to justice. That is my position. I'm clear on that.
Wait, are you there?
Yeah, did you hear me?
Yeah, I heard you loud and clear. Okay. All right.
Great.
Okay, gentlemen, we're not going to, Liberia problem is endless. We're going to be talking this over and over. But again, I want to thank both of you for your courage and for taking up time to be with us here. And this is what we do here at Liberia Public Radio, to discuss some high-call issues. And I make sure that people that are to take state power, they are held accountable. This is what I want to do. Dr. Whapoe, Mr. Goodridge, I'm looking forward to share even the information of all of these other political parties, so that we keep this information proportionate. So we do not want to disadvantage people to hear the other side of the story as to how they became part of it. And this go out to the CPP, even the ruling establishment. It will begin to hold our leaders accountable before taking state power. We will help to alleviate some of these problems that we are talking about. Then we'll get a sense of what we are saying. Gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for being here this afternoon, taking off your time. LPR is here anytime, any hour. If you feel that you want to have a dialogue and conversation with the Liberian people, let us know, and we will have that in place, and we'll have those sort of discussions. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you so much, sir. We appreciate it. And God bless you.
All right. There you have it. Okay. There you have it. That's it. I'm going to be having a reaction here quickly, hopefully. I'm Alfonso Ziensot of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. Thank you so much. Let me see here. I'm trying to get a quick reaction here from somebody here. The second phase of the program will be coming in later on this afternoon. But let me just see if we can have somebody here quick. Yeah, to get their immediate reactions based on what they were tweeting as well. And we will be having we'll be having our discussion. So just bear with me, and we'll be right here. Ish. Just bear with me here quickly, and we will get this going here. That is quite interesting, and we will see, we will see how it look like. We will continue to have these sort of conversations, and I hope even folks that are also within the ruling party, the CPP or whatever it is, they will also check their mail as well. I'm Alfonso Ziansot. We want to thank you so much yet. I'm not sure what I just call out. First, we're going to be wrapping up here. I'm just going to get a quick reaction here. But again, the invitation is open. We have the document here, and the document that as well the CPP. And I'm anticipating to have the rest of the other political parties that is part of this alliance here. So let me just call their names based on this information that we have received. The listing here, very huge. Well, 14, that's what I see here. Let me just call their name. Victory for Change Party, VCP. Vision for Liberia Transformation Party. Vote, that was Jeremiah Whapoe, Dr. Jeremiah Whapoe. Democratic Justice Party, DJP. Movement for Economic Empowerment, MOVEit, I believe as Mail Jones, Dr. Mills Jones. Grassroots Democratic Party of Liberia, GDPL. Redemption Democratic Congress, RDC. Change Democratic Actions, CDA. Movement for Progressive Change, MPC. New Liberian Party, NLP. All Liberia Coalition Party, ALCOP. United People's Party, UPP. Liberia Restoration Party, LRP. People's Unification Party, PUP. And of course, the True Wheat Party, TWP. These are the political institutions that are currently forming what they call a rainbow alliance in Liberia in pursuit of the 2023. And they are also told us that they will be feeding candidates. I was told by a close source potentially this year senatorial elections will be in December 15. Don't take that to the bank. That has not come officially from the institutions that is responsible for official announcement. And I'm talking about NEC. But I was told that, and you saw what happens yesterday, government is making funding available. I hope so, because the election needs to go ahead as planned to avoid any constitutional crisis, because the last time around, there was an extension during the Ebola. So making an extension is also in a reasonable time frame to get it done. But I was told last night by a source that the election is expected to go ahead in December, and the government will be making fundings available. I hope that will be the right thing to do for us to have these senatorial special elections, because the 15 men, as a matter of fact, 14 seats will be up for grab. Only Senator Tafanso Gate of Grangeda County is now seeking for re-election. So no, 15. So it means all of them, all the other 14 will be seeking for re-election. How prepared are we? How prepared are we? It is time for us to have these high call discussions. It's very much important. We need to understand it's Liberia. We are not talking about family house, individual home problem. No, we are talking about a country, a sovereign nation, 172 years. So sometimes when we come to these forums, we need to conduct ourselves and to make sure that we engage the process. This is something that we have not been doing in the past, but thank God to the beauty of this, and we want to make use of it to ask these people. You don't want to be caught unaware of something. So, I wish I would have knew this, because we just did not ask the questions that we're supposed to ask. It is important that we ask these critical and painful questions so that we will document their commitment to you. We hope the opposition, the CPP, the government side, it is time for us to begin this sort of conversation. We need to know who are contesting for the senatorial seats. All right, there are three branches of government. We have the judiciary, the executive, and that of the legislature. And so if we have one branch of government that is not up to the task, where they were just only prioritized to ration relief assistance to our people, then it's the same old problem. It is the same old problem. We need men to women, young people with vision, with the sole purpose of being innovative to put legislation. We need people, whether you are seditions, whether you are Liberty Party, you are ALP, to be responsible and sit at a conference table and put laws into play. And not just only putting them, but also they are enforced to pass legislation that will ease the life situations of our people. I was talking to a lady last night, someone. It was quite appalling, and I'm waiting to get that number to also to give them a fair share to respond. She was telling me in Johnsonville that residents in Johnsonville, I'm not sure whether that was a situation in other places, but I was told that they collected money, all right, for their community leaders with the hope that they're going to run after this rations or whatever relief assistance that's supposed to be getting from government. And I was like, what? He said, yes. I said, no, I can't believe this. Say, yeah, each household or family, they pay $100 each to just to be able to get the full ration, which of course nobody knows whether they are even going to come. All right, nobody knows whether it will even going to come. Let me see here, because I want to see here whether I'm able to get this here. How many persons in that area for how many of them in that whole Johnsonville area? So household, each person pay $100.
Yeah, when you get one family, you pay your own $100.
To transport.
Your family here, and you pay. You have to transport them to go after the food bill.
To pay their way to go, so that. Wow.
Yeah. So the second people will not pay money. We'll talk to them, won't pay money. So when we see where they are passing people around, and how they rep in it, what I say about the rest, then they say, open see the rest, no more rare again before the rest that they bring in are plenty to serve people.
How long has it been? 1 month since the when is how long you pay that money?
I said one more now. Okay, yeah, they get anything.
But the thing about it is that the people, somebody went there, or the community people just told you to pay the money and you start paying it too?
Our community people, they have meeting. They have meeting with the chairman and with the commission. The commission, they have meeting. They say they will bring rest in the community, or the rest that they will bring, they will pay that way to go run after the rest, because our own area, they not bring the rest on the side to share it. So we will pay $100 for them to go run behind the rest business. Now they come to us, we pay that $100. 2 days back, you will see another people with people. Now we get first.
To pay another $100.
Yeah, now the community people get first. We not get no food to eat. We not get money to be paid. Someone we will not pay no money. We are not want to pay our rest. You carry the rest, you go eat it.
Wow.
Why
you say the chairman, the community chairman, Mensa? Men. Yeah. And he was part of that. He aware of the collection, or he is not aware?
He aware of it when he comes because he working. to the president, everyone and then can be mind the president. When he can't, we call meeting Sunday. We call a meeting now. We tell him, you send yourself on the idea.
So what happened to the people who did it? Why they never? Why are they not reported there?
We reported to the chairman. Now how the chairman call the commission and tell him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that what they're doing all over the other places? Then that's bad.
Yeah.
Okay. That was it. I got a consent, but we decided not to disclose her name, and I'm waiting, hopefully, to get it. But a good thing too, the lady pointed out was that the chairman is not aware. The chairman was out. But think about that. If this is happening in Morovia, I'm not sure other places. It's bad. It is bad. To just take money, people already don't have the food to eat, and just under the disguise, okay, we're going to bring food, we're going to run after A and stuff like that. Okay, if people are making contributions, but technically, if government is providing this relief, it is government should be the one to transport this. But people take advantage of situations and exploit people. And sometimes that's the same very thing that was lawmakers. They exploit, or they have exploited financially. They pay themselves 6,500, 17,000, financially abuse us. So just how the leader to do it, ordinary Liberian citizens are following suit of the behaviors of the leaders. Now, so even you take complaint, it's not going to go anywhere. That's the society, that's the country that we find ourselves in. That's the country we find ourselves in. And it is painful for people, even who work for the government, to do that. And ordinary citizens, we put the blame on the government take 99% of the blame. But until we as a people, as a citizen, we can begin to like our country, the love of the country, and be honest with ourselves, that's part of all that is going on, it will be good for our country. They're collecting money from the people under the pretense that they're going to bring rice, $100. Let's think about this is a borough, it's called a town, the community name. So let's say that maybe the 100 family members in that area, or they were paying by a household or family here. Can you imagine? So, people got to open their eyes. Anybody just come to you, I don't blame what you're saying. She got to blame herself. Yeah, Emmanuel, that's part of it. I mean, you're in a country that poverty is at a zenith, that is so high. When people ask you to even do something that, people don't ask. This is why it's good to have an engagement. Not all that glitters is a gold. Some of them call it like brother say palm butter gold, palm water gold, red oil gold. Then everything that you see shines is a gold. It's bad. One of our followers, when I looked yesterday, I sent a message. This is what happened with Whapoe, but we scared. Please talk it. I'm hoping that to get the, but I'm happy also that she was honest to say, okay, well, the chairman is not aware. So they take advantage of that. That's part of that's a leadership gap right there. Because when you see some of these things coming, you're supposed to create an awareness to have like a community meeting. And that again, lack of planning, lack of preparations on the part of national to central government to adequately to inform people of the exercise of what they're going to be doing, what they should be anticipating, what they should be looking out for, the red flags and that. But when people are in desperation to do anything to compromise, but it was a strategic plan on the part of government, and they have done their own census, they have done their own work of community, who will be the beneficiaries, they identify those people, and they have everything. They were going to go on to tell the community, hey, XYZ time, this is what we're going to be doing. Anybody coming here, any other thing than what we have discussed, do not subscribe to it. But that was not done. So anybody who is in desperation, they can do anything to settle for anything. Believe me or not. They want about they want a 4110, and not even 41 now. Maybe they're 4120. But if government perhaps would have gone a little bit further step to do their due diligence and get the people to inform, that would have been okay. Unfortunately, that did not happen, and that's where we get ourselves. What the time check here is 2:21 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. There's a second segment of the forum coming your way at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This time around, we are trying to figure out to come up with a program here at, on LPR Crossfire. That's not the first edition, but that's what I'm thinking. And the purpose of that is to get a sense of what is happening in the political world in Liberia. There are some people all around here. I see people in their own weak ways, whatever it is. I try to articulate the message of the government, the opposition, the pressure group. But what is the substance of their message? Is their message so concise that you and I will know what they believe in? Or the sort of soundbite that they're throwing out there, is it helping the opposition or helping the government? So we try to hold everybody accountable, including ourselves. But I'm still finding it difficult with most people in terms of how they propagate their message, whether it's in the favor of the government or the opposition, in terms of their tones of language. Should I be the one to tell them how to communicate? No, but communication is a very unique process itself. Because if I'm communicating to the agenda of a political party or government, for example, they ask me to do that, that would be a different tone. Why? Because I want to communicate the agenda of that institutions of that party as to how they can win. But the social network and some of the commentators and people that promulgate the agendas is too much inflammatory to the extent that we are confused. We do not know which way to go and how to go about doing it. So I want to start having a conversation here. Maybe Prince Shari, why is he supporting the government the way he does? Maybe it and bring another person to ask Yasin, why do you think the opposition will be alternative? The language that we are hearing from you, and so forth. So, and ordinary Liberians to have that sort of honest conversation, I think is a way for us to go. Because some of these people, they do not have an idea. They support people because either of the name attached, or they've been knowing them for whatever reasons, or others are following. There are so many ways of pledging our loyalties to institutions and individuals. Oh, I see it, Mr. D-Flow is supporting XYZ person, and knowing who D-Flow is, without asking all of the tough questions to D-Flow, you decide to follow D-Flow to support. You do not know the principles, the values in which D-Flow is giving his support to that institution you decide to go. So I'm going to be asking the Crossfire, going to be bringing people like D-Flow, Randy Dapo, even what her name's, what's the lady name? My goodness, let her name come to mind. We're going to be calling all of them, these people that are taking definitive position. We're going to call them to tell us the inner part, why they are supporting what they are supporting. Maybe there are some things that we do not know, we need to know. Because all of these people, believe me, we need to include the diversities and the dissenting views of what is happening in Liberia. No one should be swept no voice should be swept on the floor. No, I do not believe that. But I believe it must be done with civility. We must respect people of their views, of their opinion. Let us not be judgmental because this person has taken this position. And so you stigmatizing, you label him as maybe the enemy of the state or someone who is against the progress of the country. Believe me, no one as far as I'm concerned, in a higher percentage as citizen than the other person. And we all have our free will and liberty to align with any political institutions in the country. But what is important, the message, the undertone of that political institution, are they the same old people and how they intend to do it differently? That is why I'm interested in the strategic policies of all of these people that want to be presidents and stuff like that. Not to count on the history of the past. These people don't do it, I'm sick and tired of hearing that. I'm not going to put my life on the line for any political party or any politician because all of these people, they are disingenuous. They say it today, when they get there tomorrow, that's become a different ball game, because when they are there, their confrontation, their discussion now is at a different level. The phone calls are going to be coming in. People want to take them for lunch. They're going to be receiving illegal gift to compromise the security or the economic situations in the country, to build wealth upon themselves. So I'm not a fan of somebody who just so easily align with politicians and just say, hey, oh yes, it sounds so sweet. I am a free thinker. I think out of the box. And this is why some of them, when we call them, they find it very difficult to come here, because they don't want to get a free pass. Yes, we will be very respectful. We're not going to humiliate anybody, but we're going to ask questions of substance and legitimate questions. Questions, those that are following us, not that they do not have the ability, but all of us are in different fields and different areas of assignment. So when we have viewers and callers are following our show, you as an anchor, you have the responsibility to keep your audience informed. If you're opposition, if you're talking for the opposition, and you're talking for the government, and you say the government is not doing it right, and you for the opposition to be persuasive, and you begin to count all of the dues, what time do you have to tell me about your policy as to how you're going to do it? It doesn't make sense to me. I don't want to dig up the old wounds. Well, the history in the past is what we dwell on in the future. That is okay. But you can't use 90 minutes, 100% of your time and talk on something that is not helping. But you need to talk on something. I want you to support my party because this is XYZ my party believes in. And I can tell you, if you support my party, this is how we're going to do a systematic approach. You're not going to just have a run over stuff. We'll do this, we'll do this. You know what? Those are the same thing we heard from when they were opposition before. Now, before coming into governance, being a governing party. And what is it now? They will tell you what we thought it was when we were out there. That's not what we are hearing right now. So it is important that people who even articulate the message of the oppositions of the governing party, they are very concise. They know the message that they are driving. You don't want to send mixed signal to listeners because you don't know people who are listening. And some of these people count on this to make sure that they make good judgments of what they are saying. To make good judgment. And we need to come with openness. We need to come to openness as we come to this platform. Sometimes you are not here to why you intend to hear necessary if you come with that, then it means you are come with a preconceived mind, you are come with a mindset. No, come with an open mind, expect the unexpected. That's the kind of conversation that we are having. And that's why we're going to be having what I call crossfire here. What I'm going to bring man at the floor here to one of the veterans in this business, his judgment then and now, to tell me to get an insight that it will be an informative one. This lady, I kept forgetting her name. I believe she in Julie Rambo and people like that. We're not going to sweep anybody that believes in what they think they have conviction or passion in for which they are doing what they are doing. Nobody will not have convictions and say they're going to stay on 2 hours, 3 hours to be talking. But we need to get these people on and talk to them and get a sense of what they are saying. Is it collaborate with what the message of the people they are interpreting? Then we will know. We have to be selective where we go to obtain, because whatever information that we obtain, we take it in and we process it. And it does have judgment into our decision making. So it's not just only about talking, it's not only about to buy more people. No, it's about education, informative. And it must be done in an honest fashion, makes it proportional. If you hear it from the other side, you want to hear it from the other side. If the other side chose not to, that's a different thing, and then you can let your audience know. So we're going to start this lady, DJ Fanias, aka Conan Hort. She's one of the person I've been seeing most of the time. Her message I don't know her position. I'm going to be asking her when I have her here 6 o'clock this evening. But for the most part, from what I've heard, seems to be promoting the agenda of the ruling party of Dr. George Weah. There are other things. She also have an non-for-profit. Let them say Liberia. I've been listening to most of her. I listen to everybody. I do not limit myself because I want to get a sense and be able to make a good judgment as to what is happening around me. You listen to it and see, you weigh it, put it on scale. This is why it said. I need to see how can I validate this, how can I make a follower on this. According to her, she was 10 years old when the war came in Liberia. So she have a non-for-profit organization, Let Them Say Liberia. Our understanding is catering to the needs of the children. But I'm going to be having her here this evening at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And as time go by, we're going to be having all of these people that are supporting different political institutions driving their foes. They used to be with X and they used to be with Y. Now they are switch gear. Why the switch gear? What was the lesson learned? And all of those things here, we need to talk all about that because we ourselves are problem to some of the things that are happening because we are misinformed, because we do not take enough time to make a decision. We hastily make a decision because of little things of asking all of the tough questions. Let me wrap it up here because 6 o'clock we're going to be back here. This is what we signed up for. This is what we committed ourselves of doing. So until then, I'm Alfonso Z. And so for all of you that took time here this event, my own dear friend and brother, D Float, thank you for coming. And all of you calling people names, Emmanuel Payne, and all of these people to follow us of Liberia Public Radio. Do a favor, you can go to our YouTube channel, type in the search engine Liberia Public Radio, and you can subscribe with our YouTube channel as well. That way you can get an instant alert. Live broadcast is on YouTube, is on the Facebook, and even the official website of the Liberia Public Radio, www.liberiapublicradio.com. I will be right back. 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's 2:33 p.m. here, and I hope I will try to reach out. Maybe I can get the numbers of people from the collaborative party. I had an appointment with Mr. Cummins. It's been a while, but they're still making time. Hopefully, they will make time for us, and we have them for us to go in depth of their document as well, to give it a fair share to talk about it. And we'll also follow up to the rest of the 12. We'll talk to 2 today, to 12 Alliance, Rainbow Alliance. We hope to talk to them. We extend them an invitation. We got to keep it proportionate. Everybody voices, everybody have to be heard, and then we can make a good decision. Until then, I see you till later on. Have a pleasant day. Bye-bye. Why his name says Stephen, let me just Stephen say, have you tried to ask to interview the president? I asked Natanda McGee. Natanda McGee said I must send my question, and I told him that was not possible. I can give him an outline for things to talk about, but to draw out questions and give it to him, I haven't seen that happen. But it is fair to give an outline if you want to talk about economic, you want to talk about security, you want to talk about infrastructure. You can give that outline and have a sort of a discussion. That's how we do it. But to draw out 1 to 10 questions is like putting myself on a firing squad to limit myself when I'm supposed to make a follow-up for my audience to understand. If you do that, any journalist who does that, then probably they don't know what they are doing. And I don't know, but it's not my style because you are limiting yourself and you will not get the information you want to get because you are God. You have aligned yourself. You agree to restrict your own movement. I need to make a follow-up questions just to answer you. Thank you so much. Have a pleasant day.